Last year, 37-year-old Ned over and left the young Lions in his dust as he raced to his 6th National Cross Country Mountain Bike Championship. But can he hold them off again this year? In 1992, Julie Furtado won the Women's National Championship and finished 2nd in the World Cup title. This season, she wants it all. Kim Sonier gave up her job as a math teacher to become a pro mountain bike racer. And when all the points were added up, she was the 1992 Women's Downhill Champion. The fastest man in the downhill, world champion Dave Cullinan. And he's back to defend his reputation as the king of the kamikazes. From Snow Summit in Big Bear Lake, California, it's round 1 of the 1993 Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. Brought to you by GT Bicycles, not your typical mountain bike. And by Bud Dry, the less filling beer with a lot more taste. Why ask why? And by DuPont, better things for better living. Big Bear Lake, high in the mountains of Southern California. Hello again, everybody. I'm Peter Graves. Glad to be with you here on ESPN for the first of our 6-race series on the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. We've got a tremendous field here today. The top mountain bikers from around the United States are here. Now, our location puts us only 80 miles east of Los Angeles, high in the San Bernardino Mountains. But we are 8,000 feet here at the top of the Snow Summit ski area, and it is going to be a very challenging and difficult course. A lot of the riders say, in fact, that it is the toughest terrain they'll face all season. This year on ESPN, we'll be bringing you coverage of all the exciting events, the cross country, the downhill, and the dual slalom. And the best off-road riders in the United States are here, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Peter Graves with you at beautiful Big Bear Lake in California. It is a great day, and we're set for the first event, the dual slalom. Always exciting. For more on how this race works, here's our Penny Davidson, 1991 Women's Downhill Champion, a competitor here today, and our expert commentator. Penny?
The dual slalom is a new event to ESPN. It has its roots at Mammoth Mountain, California, where it started just 3 years ago as an experiment, but now it has gained national championship title status. Unlike a cross-country event that takes 2.5 hours to complete, this race is done in just 20 seconds. If you like races with jumps, spills, and photo finishes, the dual slalom is the event for you.
Thanks, Penny, and you're right, it is going to be exciting. You know, a lot of the riders that come out of this competition are former BMX champions, and they learn great bike handling skills there. It's very exciting, very fun, and now 32 men and 16 women have made it to the finals of our round-robin elimination tournament, and now we're down to the final 4. It's a shootout. For the men, Terry Tonette versus Mike King, and Eric Carter versus Robbie Roop. First up, it's the men's semi-final competition here at Big Bear Lake. It is Terry Tonette on the left, Mike King on the right there, out of the start gate. It's Tonette first out of the gate, and here comes King on the right, and it is Mike King who advances to the finals. Next up, Eric Carter on the left, Robbie Roop on the right. Roop's got the lead over the berm, but Carter kicks it into overdrive, and here comes Carter moving into the finals. Now, in the women's semifinals, it is Sue Fish, Missy Giove, both Yeti teammates, and Kathy Fitzsimmons versus Leigh Donovan. Missy Giove on the left, Sue Fish on the right. Missy appears to be having some type of problem with the bike right now, working on a mechanical of some kind, but here they go. Missy Giove, Sue Fish, both Yeti teammates. Pretty even right here. Missy appears to be having a little bit of problem right there, not carrying the speed, and Sue Fish is going to move easily into the finals. Now we move on. Kathy Fitzsimmons on the left, Leigh Donovan on the right. Darkness beginning to come here at Big Bear Lake. Little problem at the gate with Leigh Donovan, but she's through it okay, and she will advance into the finals. Now we turn our attention to the men's final. It is Eric Carter on the left, Mike King on the right. Two very gifted athletes on two wheels, and it's going to be close. Watch them how they take the gates. Really tight. King just jamming those gates up over the pro bumps. And boy, was that close. But Carter takes it. In the men's dual slalom, it is Eric Carter coming up first, Mike King in second, Terry Tonette in third, and Robbie Roop out of Colorado in fourth.
I'm new to this. I don't know too much about this stuff, but I just did what my friends told me and rode smooth and it paid off.
Red course ready. The women's final looks like this. It is Leigh Donovan on the left, Sue Fish on the right. Sue Fish with the lead. And then hitting that last gate very hard, Leigh Donovan is going to take the win. And so our happy women's champion, Leigh Donovan, coming up with a victory. Second place goes to Sue Fish, Kathy Fitzsimmons in third, and Missy Giovi in fourth place.
Oh, man.
Watch out, here they come now.
Coming up next, the men's cross country. Stick around. The best off-road racers in the United States are here. We're just about set for the 3-lap men's cross-country race. Now here's GT team rider Rishi Grewal with a preview of the men's 13-mile circuit course.
You start up a pretty long climb. It's on a road, and it just kind of winds up. You go through a couple sections of single track, and you do a little hike where you have to basically hike. Some people can ride it, but I haven't ever seen anyone ride all the way up it, but we'll see. Maybe someone will make it this year. And after the hike bike, you climb, you hit a road again, you climb up, and it's fairly untechnical. It's a hard climb at high altitude, so and by the time you get to the top, you hit what we call a single track, which is just like a horse trail almost. And if you don't get in good position in that, it's so dusty here that you'll lose a lot of time just letting the dust settle in between riders. Otherwise, you have to take a few more chances. And you weave through that, and that takes you back down a little ways. And then you hit another road, and you basically come back up to the top of the course. It's about halfway. And then you start down the hill. And the downhill is basically it's an old Jeep road. And it's very twisty and turny with lots of loose soil and dirt and dust and rocks, and it's tough. And you get down through that and you come back through the finish. But it's a very challenging course with a lot of climbing, and the downhill is, you won't get any rest on the downhill, put it that way, because you're just getting shaken to death down the downhill, and you get down through that and you come back through the finish. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be tough.
Some of the top competitors to watch in today's race.
You don't need to really be right at the front at the very beginning of the race.
Well, in the past, I've been going out hard and sometimes fading and sometimes winning.
It's when you're struggling and you're losing time fast that you know it's going to be a long day.
And we're ready for the start of the men's competition right now. A hot, dry day, and the men's field is underway. Two of the riders, John Tomac and Ned Overend, formerly wore the rainbow jersey of the defending UCI champion. And now it is Rishi Grewal of Ward, Colorado, who from the get-go sets the pace. A very gifted rider. And already, right at the start, they begin a brutal climb to the hike-a-bike section where they have to get up off the bike and push. And it is cardiovascular. Tim Rutherford, followed by David Weens of Gunnison, Colorado. There is the local favorite, Tinker Juarez. And look at this. Ned Overend. Right now trailing, but still in a good position. Now it's time for a brutal descent. Rishi Grewal with the lead, followed by David Weens. Both of them Coloradans, both of them trained at high altitude.
In general, the climbs decide the races. So a guy like me who doesn't descend quite as fast has to actually climb faster. And you know, all the sections where you're on the pedals, you have to be faster than someone who can descend faster.
Comes Weens.
Now in the early going of the race, David Weens exerts his dominance and makes a move and is now in the lead. And this is where they try to get the pulse rate down and try to recover.
Rishi!
Rishi Grewal is stalking him.
So you kind of you get in this groove where you're just looking down a downhill and you just look for the big rocks, the really big ones that are embedded, because you know those are the ones that they're gonna send you flying over the bars. So.
Net over into Tom Rogers. Rogers making a move on over end right now and passes it.
Get up! Looking for $300 courtesy of Alabama.
As we near the end of lap 1, it is Rishi Graywall back in front by 10 seconds over David Weens. 57. Let's go to Penny.
Instead of hearing John Tomac and Ned Overend's name in first place, Rishi Graywall and Dave Weens are battling it out. Rishi got passed by Dave Weens on the second hike-a-bike, but I guess Rishi really wanted that first lap premium of $300, and he took his chances on a downhill and came across the line first.
And now it is Tinker Juarez running in second place. Setting the pace, he knows these trails and the altitude. He lives here. Now Rishi Graywall, who was our early leader, running in third. And now some screaming descents. David Weens still in the lead. Tinker is chasing. It puts a premium on bike handling skills. And as we come to the end of lap 2, it is David Weens beginning to open up on the field. Let's go to Penny.
Coming through the finish of the second lap, Dave Weens is looking really strong. He's increased his lead over Tinker and Rishi, who are now working together. That pack of 4 riders that include John Wiesenrider, Pat McIlvain, John Tomac and Ned Overend has now been broken up. John Tomac and Ned Overend are showing their strength and experience and encroaching on the leaders.
David Weens in his climbing mode, and nobody's stronger. And the crowd cheers him on. Rishi Graywall and Tinker Juarez.
Come on, guys, come on. All right, go, go. 250, come on, go. 250 behind, guys, 250.
And now through the water, Tinker Juarez in second, with Rishi Graywall right on his tail.
Go, Rishi! Go, Rishi! Hammer, buddy! Hammer, man! Go!
Rishi Graywall.
Go, Tinker!
And here is Tinker Juarez.
Hammer!
Strong and confident. John Tomac, the former world champion, on a patented Tomac attack. And Ned Overend, another former world champion. Now Ned has faded to 7th. And here comes our men's cross-country champion, 28-year-old David Weens. A great day for him.
Did you ever hear or see Tinker and Rishi behind you after you passed them?
I thought they were on my wheel, and I looked back and they weren't there anymore.
And guess what? They haven't even come through yet.
Well, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Great racing today, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Penny.
Second place goes to Rishi Graywall, with Tinker Juarez in third. And a tired John Tomac comes across the finish line, coming in fourth.
You know, David was gone, and I couldn't really set my pace on him. And Rishi was really strong, you know, so I just figured that as long as I could just stay with him.
And I was surprised I got around Tinker. I just kind of willpowered it through, drank my Coke, and made it.
Here's the men's cross-country David Weens with a victory today, followed by Rishi Graywall, Tinker Juarez, and the popular John Tomac. Mountain bike racing lost one of its most enthusiastic supporters with the passing of our friend and colleague Charlie Litsky recently. We'll miss you. Back at Big Bear Lake, California, it's the women's cross-country race. 2 laps, 26 miles. Let's go to Penny at the starting line.
Susan, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling okay, a little bit nervous like always, but hopefully I'm going to do my best, and I'd love it if I repeated a second place here. This one's going to be hard to beat.
And you've had someone riding on my leg.
I think I will try and pace myself a bit because the climb is pretty long. It's the longest climb we've done so far this season.
I have the fitness in that area, but I don't have the technical area, so my emphasis is going to be technical.
Well, kill them on the climbs and good luck on the Lower Falls technical section.
Yeah, you might find me in the wrapped up around a tree somewhere.
Aren't you out here? I'm doing downhills. Not me. Get out of her way.
All right. Julie Furtado giving a little grief to Penny Davidson, our commentator. And they are off. And immediately Julie Furtado, who has had a wonderful spring, and Ruthie Mathis, both of them Durango, Colorado riders, jumping out to an early lead. Both of them with extensive road racing background. It is Mathis right now leading Furtado by a half a bike length. In the uphill climb, it's Ruthie Mathis in front, but here comes Julie Furtado.
Some people have a lot of tactics, and I usually am just trying to go as hard as I can throughout the whole race. And if I'm in front, that's great because that means I'm riding real strong. It's hard to lead a race. It's hard to push yourself the whole time, and all you can do is go backwards. And so mentally, it's real tough to lead a race.
Well, Julie Furtado isn't having any trouble leading today. At the first hike-a-bike, she has a 1-minute lead over Ruthie Mathis, with Inga Thompson, the Olympic road racer from Barcelona, just 15 seconds behind her. And there is Inga. Ruthie Mathis through the haze of dust, the former world champion. And now, Julie Furtado, showing why she is one of the most feared and gifted descenders in the sport.
But usually the more fear you have, the more chance that you're going to go down because you're thinking of all these things that could go wrong. Whereas if you just try and let the bike go and you go with it with a little bit less fear, you're usually better off.
It really kind of helps my descending ability. Just keep your eyes closed and don't watch.
And there is Sarah Valentine, another one of the legendary figures in the sport, and now Julie Furtado, who keeps pulling away.
It's been said more than once, and not just this season, Julie Furtado is ahead 4 minutes after the first lap. What is missing, though, is Allison Sider, who's been right on her heels in the first 3 World Cups in spring this season. Instead, we have Ruthie Mathis about 4 minutes back. The big story is Inga Thompson, who's been an incredible road racer and represented the U.S. in Barcelona this summer. Inga has been great on the road, but she lacks the technical skills. And on this first lap, she was able to stay ahead of Sarah Valentine and Susan DiMattei, who are in 4th and 5th. What Inga needs to do now, this is her race, is to put the hammer down on this next climb. She's got about 30 minutes to do that. If she can put a big enough gap between her and Susan DiMattei and Sarah Valentine, she can cruise that technical downhill, which is not her forte, and she'll get her first podium spot in this big national race.
Sarah Valentine on one of the impossible climbs, and Julie Furtado on the descent. Known as one of the best descenders in the sport, some of those skills coming from her background as a member of the U.S. Alpine ski team. And Susan DiMattei falls to 7th place behind Sarah Valentine and Julia Ingersoll. Julie Furtado continues to pour it on, now more than 5 minutes ahead of Ruthie Mathis. And the real battle, the real drama is for 3rd, and Sarah Valentine is catching Inga Thompson on the final descent.
You guys would have to get her at the start.
And to the finish line on this sunlit day, here comes Julie Furtado for her 4th straight win in 1993.
You were 45 seconds ahead of him after that first little lap, Julie. Were you hurting really hard?
I felt really good, and when I saw that I had a gap at the start, I knew it was my race to lose. I felt good.
And Ruthie Mathis takes 2nd place.
I felt a little disappointed because she was so far away. When you lose sight of a rider, it's kind of like they're gone, and then you just settle into a pace.
Inga Thompson holds on for 3rd.
So would you compare your effort on that flat part right before the finish to a time trial in a road race?
Yeah, just about, because at that point I didn't know where she was. I looked back and saw her and heard some people cheering. I'm like, oh no, better turn it on right about now.
And the final standings show Julie Furtado, our winner, followed in 2nd by Ruthie Mathis, Inga Thompson in 3rd. Well, the last event in today's competition, the downhill. A flat-out descent starting at 8,200 feet, finishing at 7,000 feet. And one of the leading competitors, our analyst, Penny Davidson.
This course is marked by lots of switchbacks, lots of turns. It's not just a high-speed kamikaze, full-out speed run. The technical rider is going to be favored. They need to accelerate, brake, and shift almost simultaneously. It's a very rough course with lots of berms and ruts. The best rider will be probably a technical rider. The fastest times may even be sub 5 minutes.
This year, the downhillers will make 2 runs with a combined time counting for the final score. In the first run, Dave Cullinan blasted down the course, setting the fastest time for the men, while Penny Davidson set the pace for the women, just ahead of Missy Giovi and Kim Sonier. But not all of the riders enjoyed such success, as the treacherous switchbacks took their toll. We'll be back with the finals of the downhill competition. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody, to beautiful Big Bear Lake in California. Peter Graves and Penny Davidson, and the riders, Greg Herbold, Dave Cullinan, and company, get the easy way up. Fast, scary way is coming down. In the second run of the men's downhill, young Myles Rockwell made a great run. As does the veteran Greg Herbold. But it's the world champion Dave Cullinan who sets the fastest time of the day for win number 1 in 93.
It was a real scary year for me because last year I didn't have an off season. I rode good at the first race of the year, and this year I didn't know if my bike handling skills were going to be up to par, but I guess after today I proved it to myself more so than anything else, and that's what I needed to do.
And the men's downhill results look like this: a big victory for Dave Cullinan, Greg Herbold, Jimmy Kight, and Myles Rockwell.
Great support of this event.
2, 1, go!
The women's downhill finals, we look at Kim Sonier, the former professor who loves to go fast, and hard-riding Missy Giovi. But it was Penny Davidson who betters her first time and takes the win.
Go Penny!
And for Penny Davidson, a great way to start off 1993.
Penny Davidson, Iron Horse.
And the golden run of Penny Davidson puts her on the podium. It goes like this: Penny in first, followed by Missy Giovi in second, Kim Sonier in third. Well, as you know, there's an old saw on television that the analysts normally interview the winner, but in today's show, in the women's downhill, the analyst was our winner, and it's Penny Davidson. Penny, great performance. We're really happy for you.
Thanks, Peter. It's great to start the year like this. Last year I didn't have any wins, and in 91, when I won 6 races, I started off winning here at Snow Summit.
How about Dave Cullinan? He's the defending world champion. He looked terrific and very awesome indeed.
Well, everyone's curious how a world champion is going to come back the next season, and he started off with a big win.
All right, not only did we have great downhill and dual slalom competition, but Julie Furtado won the cross-country by a country mile for the ladies. And for David Weens of Gunnison, Colorado, he looked terrific too.
Yeah, Dave's looking for a better year in 93. 92, he was dry too, and he's excited with his first win too.
All right, a great way to start things off. We next will join you in Bloomington, Indiana at the resort called Ski World. We look forward to seeing you there. For Penny Davidson, I'm Peter Graves. So long, everybody, from Big Bear Lake in Southern California. The Jeep National Championship Series has been brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, and by Calcium-Rich Tums. Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium.
Yeah, all right.
Each year, the world's fastest drivers come to Indianapolis for the ultimate test of speed. But today, we're 50 miles south of the Indianapolis Speedway in Bloomington, Indiana, for a different test of speed: mountain bike racing. The sports seem very different, yet it was on a bicycle that the Indy 500 champion Emerson Fittipaldi began his racing career.
I won my first trophy. Still have, actually, my mother has a trophy. When I was 5 years old, I won a race, ride a bike, and that's I mean, any child, that's the first thing you want to do. And I think to all of us it's an achievement when you can ride a bike into wheels.
From Bloomington, Indiana, it's round 2 of the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. And this ESPN Sports Exclusive is being brought to you by GT Bicycles, not your typical mountain bike. And by Bud Dry, the less filling beer with a lot more taste. Why ask why? Welcome, everybody, to the second stop on the Jeep National Championship Series for mountain biking. I'm Peter Graves. Delighted to be with you. We're near Bloomington, Indiana, in Brown County, and I'm standing on the summit of the mountain here, which is just 770 feet here at Ski World. You know, a lot of the riders are surprised, though, at the long climbs they've had to face and the precipitous descents. Last night, it has rained a tremendous amount here. The course is very wet and a little bit treacherous. And for more on the weather, which is our big wild card here, let's go to my colleague, Penny Davidson.
Peter, you can see that the rain has stopped, but the mud is ankle deep and the humidity is about 100%. It's going to be a long, hard day for the racers here in the hills of Bloomington, Indiana.
First up, the women's cross country. Stay with us. It is wet and muddy here in Bloomington. Peter Graves along with Penny Davidson with you for the second event of the Jeep National Championship Series. And as we get set for today's first race, let's check out our cross-country course. Here's the current men's point leader, David Weems, with a preview of the circuit.
After the start-finish, we head straight up the ski slope, and it's not a Colorado ski slope. It's quite short, but it's still going to be pretty steep for us. Then you come over the top and you head down a real fast little road that gets steeper towards the end of the place around here they call Skeletor Slide. And you get going really fast, and right at the bottom of the slide you have to take a hard left-hand turn. After the slide you end up coming into a flat area and you drop through a creek crossing. It's pretty deep. Water comes shooting over your head if you're going fast enough. Got to power through that. And we go into the woods and we start the hardest, steepest climb of the course. It's just a single track. And you wind up through the woods and you come out at the top, and then you have some technical single track. After that we go around a little bit, and then we get onto the downhill course, but there's some real off-camber stuff in there, and it's kind of like riding on the outside of a basketball that's wet, and that's going to be real tricky. We have a couple tough turns in there. We go down and make a hard switchback and head off towards Graveyard Hollow, and you do this climb over here, which is just straight up the ski slope again. And when you top out, then the course just drops straight down the chute. After that, up a short, steep climb, and you coast back to the start-finish.
We are set for the start of the women's cross-country competition, and the race has been shortened by 1 lap because of our muddy conditions. Let's go to Penny at the start.
Elodie Brown, person who does every event. Yesterday she's standing out in the rain all day long, getting ready for a downhill dual slalom. Former teammate, what are you going to do today in your race?
I just want to finish. That's my goal, Penny. I just want to finish. Just take the first few laps fairly easy, and then the second 2, if I have any energy, I might even try to hammer a little bit.
Well, it rained quite a bit, and so the course has become real muddy, and hopefully running won't become a factor, but you never know in these conditions.
I think there's going to be a lot of crashes. I predict for me about 3 or 4 a lap, and then somewhere in there.
Where are you going to try to make your move?
Well, right from the start line. Got to get away from here first.
Good luck, Lisa.
Thanks, Penny.
Our current point standings show Julie Furtado on top with Ruthie Mathis in second. And folks, they're off here at Ski World in Bloomington, Indiana. And take a look at the mud. And we haven't gone 100 yards yet into the first climb. And that is Julie Furtado in the lead. Right behind her, her GT teammate, Chantel Decor from Switzerland. And right behind is Ruthie Mathis, running in third place. And through the water right now, and the bike's already caked with mud and dirty. Look at that. And now a change in the race. This is Chantel Decor, the Swiss rider, moving into the lead right now and challenging her GT teammate, Julie Furtado. Making a bold and aggressive move now, Ruthie Mathis starts to make a move. She had chain problems early in the first lap and trails Susan DiMattei. Let's go to Penny Davidson with a lap 1 update.
Already at the end of 1 lap, the bikes are super muddy along with the racers. Some people have thrown off their glasses. we have Julie Furtado in the lead. About 22 seconds back is Chantal Decor. In third place, Lisa Muick. And Lisa is a tough gal. She's going to stay right up there if her body feels good. But with the conditions of the mud and the humidity, you can have mechanical breakdowns of the bike and of the body.
Yeah, look at this.
Flip him off.
No.
Put this on film.
Wheel suck, you know, brakes below the rim.
Take me back to sunny California.
Mud and jam deraillers may have stopped the other riders, but it hasn't slowed Julie Furtado.
We've got Julie Furtado in the lead, followed by Chantal Decor.
And there's Ruthie Mathis huffing her way up into third place. Muddy, tough conditions. And look at this. One rider hikes down the steep descent. But here comes Julie Furtado. She's a former member of the U.S. ski team, and her technique makes it look easy. Well, almost. Here's Penny Davidson with an update.
Inga Thompson, one of our Olympic road athletes, who's really powerful and strong, is not such a great technical rider yet. Here you see her having trouble on the downhill. Oh man, the bikes are just pulling up with lots of leaves and twigs and grass and roots. I don't think Inga is having a great time.
A peek through the windows of a cabin shows Julie Furtado still in the lead. The conditions still grueling. The mud and the slime are beginning to take their toll.
I'm shifting.
Kim Sonier, the downhiller and Kahlua teammate of Inga Thompson, giving some advice to her out there on the course.
Use your feet.
And Inga's probably thinking, why don't you try this, dude?
Yeah, you know, put your foot down.
Watch this. Here, watch this slide. Yeah. Oh, you missed that one. Let's film.
Julie Furtado coming up on the top of her fourth lap. She's not happy about doing this many laps. It's a hard course. It's really tough. Only the racers really know how tough it is. So what were you telling Julie on the way up there?
That your lap times are still real good. You're the strongest rider out there. All you have to do is stay vertical, and I'll see you on the podium.
Ruthie Mathis has moved into second place. We don't see Chantal yet, but this is as close as you get to a pit stop in mountain bike racing. Here's Chantal, just about 15 seconds back. Right there. This is a good race right now we've got going. Julie's pretty much 3 minutes out in front.
Yeah, Julie, looking good.
Now let's watch Julie Furtado in the technical section. Great bike handling. And here's the Swiss rider, Chantal Decor. Julie Furtado in the lead. One leg off the bike.
Julie Furtado going by.
Second place rider, Ruthie Mathis, pushing her bike. And now back on it. In pursuit of this rider.
All right.
The awesome Julie Furtado.
All right.
Good. 3 more miles. On her last lap, Julie Furtado only has 3 more miles, 2 climbs on her way to her second Jeep National Championship cross-country win.
Most of the descents I look forward to, and if I'm riding real well, the climbs, everyone always looks forward to the finish.
Ruthie in second place and carrying her bike again, and Lisa Muick in third. And Chantal Decor now in fourth place, and not looking particularly happy about the way her race is going at this point. And now headed for the finish line, our first place rider, a very tired Julie Furtado, takes her second straight Jeep National Championship victory. She's in a league of her own. And here's Penny with the winner.
In the woods, your wheels wouldn't move. You know, they got so clumped up, and that's what was really the bummer, was they wouldn't move. And you had to stop and try and clear them off. And
look at that.
Having to run it back around.
You think the crud catcher helped?
I don't know.
Well, I was motivated for points, you know. I mean, when all else goes, you think about the points and then you keep hammering. So, you know, it was a good test in mental endurance and physical too.
And the final results. First place, Julie Furtado. Second goes to Ruthie Mathis. Third, Lisa Muick, followed by Susan DiMattei. We'll be back with the men's cross country. Stay with us. Welcome back to soggy Bloomington, Indiana for the start of the men's cross-country race. It's 8 laps, 32 miles, and after watching the women's race, you bet these guys aren't looking forward to this race too much. David Weens leads the season point standings. Rishi Graywall is second, Tinker Juarez is third, and John Tomac. And here's Penny Davidson with our points leader.
We got something different here. What are you going to say to yourself to help you get the best performance?
Sort of, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time sliding around on this kind of stuff, so I should be able to ride it pretty well. I think it should work pretty good for me as long as I can climb the hills.
I think it'll be a long race, so endurance will be a factor. Keeping your equipment together will be important.
Okay, everybody, we're set for the start right now, and away they go. The men are off. And look at this. Mud-O-Rama, folks. It is thick, deep, and rich. And now it's the strong Polish rider, Jan Wijak, that moves into the lead right now. Tomac off the bike and chasing Tim Rutherford.
Yeah, my biggest advantage is descending, and on the cross-country races I like to stay within a reasonable distance on the climbs.
And here are our top 6 riders, all riding in a pack. It is Jan Wijak in the lead, Tim Rutherford second, John Tomac third, followed by Tinker Juarez. And for the flat, easy riding into the technical section where it's tricky. Wijak continues to lead Rutherford and Tomac. And this is so tough. But as we complete the downhill, we have a new leader, John Tomac. And now heading for the end of lap 1. It's 26-year-old John Tomac out in front by 12 seconds. John was a former world cross-country and downhill champion. Our leader, John Tomac, looks over his shoulder, checking his margin.
Yeah, I'd like to lose the stigma of being an altitude-only guy. I'd like to, my goals are really to do well on some of the lower altitude courses. I think the air is different, there's more moisture in it. It's thicker. Your body is used to working on the kind of air it's used to getting all the time. So I go down to the sea level and I feel kind of, sluggish, and the air is thick and there's humidity. And so, yeah, I think that, it's a trade-off. Maybe it's not as extreme going down as it is going up.
One man who loves the extreme is John Tomac down the treacherous descent.
At the start of lap 3, Johnny T is still in the lead, but our 1-minute gap within the top 10 has now moved to 3 minutes. 2 people have changed places. Mark Gullickson and Darrell Price have moved in the top 10, while Don Meyer and Travis Brown have moved out.
Go. Good, John. Good job, John. Way to hammer.
Now it's Gullickson and Ned Overett. Deadly Nedley. But Overett is beginning to make his move. And look at this. A treacherous, steep section. It's like a cattle drive. Ned Overett now moves ahead of Gullickson. And David Weens.
This hill is really challenging the racers. It's muddy, it's steep. The racers having to get on and off their bikes. The person who can get off, run, and get back on the fastest is making up time and getting ahead. Jan and Tinker have been battling for second and third, a minute off Johnny T. Tinker wasn't as quick. He lost some time to Jan.
Let's go, Tim.
Tinker's trying to get around in there.
Tinker Juarez through the water. A chance to clean off the bike. In second place, Jan Wijak from Poland, now living in Fishkill, New York. He's running 8 seconds ahead of Tinker Juarez. He is so strong and familiar with these conditions. Off the bike now.
Johnny T's putting the hammer down. He's got about 45 seconds more on second and third place, which is Wijak and Juarez. Wijak keeps looking around his corner coming out of the downhills, but Tinker catches him on the climbs. Looks like they're battling for that second and third spot.
And Penny, we have a report that Ned Overett may have suffered a flat tire and has lost something like 2 minutes. And here comes Tinker Juarez. Up and up over the high side, but a fall. He's okay.
Come on, Tinker. You okay, buddy?
Yeah, all right.
He's going to get back up, but that doesn't do anything to help him.
Staying on the bike.
And talk about strong, our leader John Tomac, now a minute ahead of Weejack.
Into 5 laps, just 2 more to go. Tomac keeps putting on about 15 seconds every lap. Tinker and Jan Weejack, 2nd and 3rd, battling for that spot. So Tinker's about 2:35 down off Tomes, only 20 seconds off of Jan Weejack. Tinker's got a little more mud on his bike. He's looking strong. So 1:20 off of 3rd place is Mark Gullickson, who's from the East Coast. He's used to the humidity, he's used to the mud. He's looking really strong. He just came off out of 6th place, taking Tim Rutherford and Ned Overend out. Rumor is Ned Overend suffered a flat on lap 5, at least taking 3 minutes off of his time. So if he's not his body and it's just his bike that had a problem, Ned will be back catching these guys. Ned is the master of knowing how to race. Tinker Juarez, whose real name is David, got his nickname during BMX days when he used to tinker on his bike all the time. Either his body blew up or his bike broke down. Well, placing 3rd 2 weekends ago in Big Bear and running a consistent 3rd right here during this race is showing consistency, and that's what wins a national championship series.
Now 4th place Mark Gullickson with Ned Overend closing the gap on him, even with a flat tire he suffered. Overend is amazing. He has made up that 2 minutes and change, and at 38 years old is still getting stronger all the time.
Because the event's 2 to 3 hours long, you really have to pace yourself. And if you go flat out from the gun, normally a rider can tolerate that pace for maybe an hour. And a lot of times when you watch a race, you'll see riders that start too fast and fade a little bit at the end, and riders that start a little slower and come on strong at the end. So it's important. This year I'm trying to really maximize my fitness and keep a pretty steady pace the whole way, and you know, try to end up the best position I can at the finish, which would be you know, just making my effort pretty equal through the whole race.
Good job, Johnny. All right. Come on, John! Come on, John!
This has been a brutal and challenging course that has taken its toll on most of the riders.
God, it's slick right there.
But for John Tomac, it has been a chance to showcase his considerable bike handling skills. And here's John Tomac headed for the finish line and his first Jeep National Championship win of 1993. And here's Penny with our winner.
Johnny, watching the race from the start-finish, it looked like a perfect race for you. What was happening out there?
Well, it was pretty miserable the whole time, you know. I just tried to do a good tempo, and, you know, I ran pretty well for at least 5 laps, and then the other times I had to kind of go a little slower, but I think I made more time up in the trees on the descent a little bit than the good runners could, like Jan, on the climb. So it was just a situation where my advantage was bigger than his, I think.
The final results are winner John Tomac, 2nd Jan Weejack, Tinker Juarez 3rd, and 4th Ned Overend, with a dramatic comeback from the flat tire he had. And a considerably different look for Don Myra, who finished 7th place, whose face sums up the story of the race.
Great. Don, looks like a tough day out there. You got a little scrape on your nose. You might have a little black eye tomorrow. What happened?
Yeah, I crashed and hit my face on the bar, and it's just the way it goes when it's so slippery.
Were you trying to hang it out?
I was just trying to ride consistent and minimize my mistakes. It's such a long, hard race. It's easy to make mistakes.
Next, the exciting downhill. Stay with us. Peter Graves back at the Jeep National Championships and getting set for the downhill competition. They're warming up at the top. And as our first runs get underway, let's take a ride down this very tricky course with the 1990 World Downhill Champion, Greg Herbold.
Once you're into the woods, it's like being in a pinball machine. Things are changing. There's big ruts, there's roots, there's rocks, there's holes, there's trees. Through that section, you wind through the woods, pedaling pretty hard, do some pretty mossy, slimy stuff. And then you go into the first series of real technical corners. The first right-hander is rutted, off-camber, and slippery. And this is where you can make it or break it. You have to try and keep your momentum but yet don't go off the course and don't low slide and crash. Then you enter a series of hairpins. This is like kind of where all the spectators like to hang out. These series of hairpins are really wide and there's many lines, but they're all really rough. So the key to those hairpins is kind of getting inside, getting your direction change made, and powering out of it. Into a fading left-hander, then a hard right, where it kind of pushes you out like a stock car towards the barriers, and from there it's just a all and shoot all the way to the finish line. So what's the secret? Don't use your brakes, close your eyes, pedal like mad.
Pedal like mad indeed. And after the first of our 2 runs, Brian Lopes was the fastest among the men. And for the women's competition, it was the speedy Leigh Donovan who set the pace for the women. We'll be right back for run number 2. Kim Sonier, the 1992 champion, 5th after a disappointing first run, but Kim is really turning it on now. Her time, the fastest of the day, 1:49.47. And now Leigh Donovan, fastest in the first run.
I don't think I was riding on the edge, but I don't want to really ride on the edge. If I can stay in the top 5, I'm happy. That's what I'm going to try to do all year, stay in the top 5.
Through the woods and across the finish line, 1:50.71. That puts her back into first place. Penny Davidson, 1:50.12, the time she has to better. And here she comes across the finish line, 1:49.60, and that gives her the win. So Penny Davidson, our winner, followed by Leigh Donovan in second, Kim Sonier third, followed by Michelle Bednar. And now the men in the downhill. Jimmy Kight, the GT rider, third after the first run, and Jimmy betters his first run with a time of 1:34.08. That moves him into first place, but with 2 fast riders still to come. And now Dave Cullinan, the defending champion, second after the first run, but he's not carrying the speed he did in the first run. 1:36.37, not fast enough to catch Jimmy Kight. Now on to Brian Lopes. He had the fastest time in the first run, and Brian looks to be really screaming right now. The final run, 1:32.94, and that gives him first place. It moves him to second in the season standing, and the final standings look like this. Brian Lopes first place, followed by Jimmy Kight and Dave Cullinan. Mudmania and a steamy weekend here in Indiana, but a great competition, exciting downhill, and for the cross country, Julie Furtado continues her story of domination. Also, John Tomac, very strong, looks to be a real factor in the remainder of the season, a reemergence for him. Next time, we'll be in the Green Mountains of Vermont, Mount Snow, for our first World Cup look stateside. That should be exciting. We've had a wonderful competition. Thanks for joining us. For Penny Davidson, I'm Peter Graves, saying so long from Indiana. The Jeep National Championship Series has been brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Yeah. Hi.
In the first race of the season, it was powerful David Weems who knocked off the favorites in the high altitudes of Big Bear Lake, California. Then, it was into the mud of Bloomington, Indiana, and a dramatic victory by John Tomac, along with a gutsy comeback by Ned Overend. For the women, 2 races, 2 convincing wins by this rider, Julie Furtado. But today, they face a new challenge, the top mountain bike racers from Europe. For this round of the Jeep National Championship Series also counts towards the Grundig World Cup. From Mount Snow, Vermont, it's round 3 of the Jeep National Championship Series. And this ESPN Sports Special is being brought to you by GT Bicycles, not your average mountain bike. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when. Hello again, everybody. I'm Peter Graves. Welcome to Mount Snow in Vermont. A very important World Cup coming up for the off-road cycling community. It's our first look at the European talent, Gerhard Zadroblik, Thomas Frischnick, and Chantal Decor, just to mention a few. It is a talent-laden field. The conditions also are a factor. It's wet, muddy and drizzly here at Mount Snell. It's going to be very interesting competition. For more on the story, let's go to my colleague, Penny Davidson.
Look for the Europeans to push the pace, Peter. They have a strong history in cycling, and they have depth and talent. Look for a head-to-head matchup of champions, namely Thomas Frischnick, the Swiss cyclocross champion, who is the current World Cup champion. On the American side, look for John Tomac and Ned Overend. They're both former world champions. Don't forget Dave Wiens. He won the first Jeep National Championship Series race in Big Bear. On the women's side, can Julie Furtado capture her 4th straight World Cup win? She's undefeated so far this season.
We'll be right back with our first race, the men's cross country, in a moment. Peter Graves and Penny Davidson back at Mount Snow, Vermont. You know, it used to be that these ski areas would roll up the sidewalks and turn into near ghost towns in the summertime. But mountain biking has changed all that. This is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. First up today, the men's cross country, and our current Jeep National Championship point standings look like this. John Tomac on top by just 1 point over Tinker Juarez, followed by Ned Overend and David Wiens. Now let's take a preview look at this Mount Snow cross country course with 1993 women's point leader Julie Furtado.
So you come out of the start area and you go right into single track, and you weave around here and there, and there's some real technical descents, and it might be really slick due to the rain. And then you start up the climb, the feed hill, and it's pretty much a dirt road for a long climb, and it's a real tough climb. And at the top there's just lots of single track, really, really technical descents with height and roots and mud and trees and many spots to flat and crash. And that pretty much continues all the way down the mountain till you come out on a road that winds around and is flat and rolling to the start-finish area, and that's pretty much the course.
Thanks, Julie. We'll be seeing more of you later. Now, as our riders get set, let's go to Penny at the starting line.
How did you do with these Europeans over in the spring this year?
It was tough over there. My best result was 20th, and so I'm ranked 28th going into this race. It's tough. You know, it's wet. These guys are fit in the spring. They're fit probably right now, and now we're racing on their kind of terrain. They really like this.
I can win races either if it's dry or wet. I don't care. It's just have to ride fast and be in a good shape.
Well, I think the pace will be a lot higher from the gun compared to an all-American race, but it shouldn't be too much harder. I pick an American to win.
Frischnick will for sure be up there. He's really fit now and he's going really good.
A tough race indeed. 6 laps, 24 miles, and 823 feet of climbing per lap. And they're off as number 7, John Tomac, the veteran, quickly goes out for the lead. Last year, John Tomac was leading this race when he ran into a spectator. The man in charge of making sure that won't happen again is lead motorcyclist Tom Hillard.
Spectator, unfortunately, didn't know Tomac was coming down the hill in first place and ran into him and ruined his race. In fact, John came up to me yesterday and made sure that I was going to be in front of him every lap.
Now halfway up the first climb, and it's the front 4 side-by-side. Jan Wijak of Poland, John Tomac of the U.S., Thomas Frischnick of Switzerland, and newcomer Danielle Bruschi of Italy. Now let's put our expert analyst on the spot. Penny, your predictions as to the winner?
I predict Johnny T to become your overall World Cup leader and the winner of this race. He's coming off a win in Bloomington, Indiana last weekend. He likes this course. He was in the lead last year. He knows how to win. He's feeling strong.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Penny Davidson going out on a limb. Now headed into the first descent. It's Roger Honegger of Switzerland out in front. And here comes Thomas Frischnick and John Tomac side by side. Watch Tomac take the corner right now. 10 seconds back, Ned Overend leads a pack battling for 4th. Rishi Graywalt is just behind. And into the single track, 2 abreast. And down goes Patrick Lynch up Canada. Coming into the end of the first of 6 laps, that's the Swiss rider Thomas Frischnick in first place. And you can see the gap between him and second place rider John Tomac. Penny?
Just 3 seconds back is John Tomac. He's followed by a racer that we're a little surprised to see, Roger Honegger from Switzerland. He's placed 37th in the World Cup points. 1 minute and 12 seconds off the leader is a tight group of 3 Americans, Rishi Graywall, David Weens, and the infamous Ned Overend.
All right, thanks, Penny. First place, Thomas Frischnick down the very slippery technical section. And John Tomac letting it all hang out in pursuit of the flying Frischnick. And Roger Honegger, now just 23 seconds ahead of American David Weens.
I like to have some fun out there, and I was having some fun with the people around the course. This is one of my favorite places to race. The people in Vermont are great. They're all over the course. There's big crowds, and you know, I like to keep racing fun.
Tinker Juarez passes Rishi Graywall. And 4 more riders go by as Rishi waits for the traffic to clear. But back to our leaders, Thomas Frischnick. Honegger now in second place, just ahead of Tomac. Weens. Heading toward the end of lap 2, Thomas Frischnick glances back to check his lead. He's pumped up.
At the close of lap 2, Thomas Frischnick still has his lead, but it's not quite as far as it was at the end of lap 1. John Tomac and Roger Honegger have traded places. John Tomac looks like he's starting to reel Thomas in. Dave Weens and Warren Sollenbach round out the top 5. Tom Ritchie must be happy. He has 3 riders in the top 5 at this point.
And back in the woods, Sollenbach through the mud. And Tinker Juarez off the bike. It's really getting slick out there, and the riders have to change their lines. Roots and slippery stones in the devouring mud. Now, here's Penny.
Thomas Frischnick has opted for the uphill line, the high line. It's a little bit slower, but it definitely was safe. Yeah. Woo! Honegger taking a middle line between both of them. Not quite as technical as the other riders. Dave Weens, American rider, letting his leg hang out for a little stability. Warren Sollenbach with the extra wide line.
And on the move, Peter Rick of Czechoslovakia. A rider who likes to start slow and then turn it on late in the race, as does this man, 38-year-old Ned Overend.
I don't want to be a guy in the sport who, well, that guy used to win a lot, you know, and now he's out there racing, but he's just a pack filler, basically. You know, I want to prove that while I'm racing at the top level, I'm still capable of winning.
Overend now ahead of Tinker and Peter Rick through the technical section. Penny?
This shows how technical it can get. It's really rocky and rooty, really slippery. Racers may try to find a nice clean line through here, get up and off their bike, off the rear wheel, let it spin, come right through here. Other people have been watching racers go through this section. They've created a new line because this has gotten so gnarly. Thomas Frischnick, our current race leader who won this race last year, showing how to just how difficult it is, showing how to stay on the bike and keep it rolling. Tomac, who's known for his fearless descending skills, shows you just why. It was just in a section like this last year that he lost the race when a spectator ran out in front of him. Here's our third place rider, Roger Honegger, 1 minute and 40 back. Not picking quite as smooth a line, but powering right through the rough stuff, getting it back up to speed.
Third place, the veteran European cyclocross rider Roger Honegger now starts to fall back, and Dave Weens has him in his sights, and it looks like he's ready to reel him in. Penny, let's go to you.
Dave Weens, the winner of the Jeep National Championship Series race in Big Bear, looks ready for a great placing today. He's second because Roger Honegger and John Tomac have fallen back.
And the rain continues. Peter Rick has passed John Tomac and is chasing Weens for second place. Headed for the bridge now, and Overend has just passed Tomac. And look at this. John Tomac really looks like he's struggling. As does early leader, the Swiss rider Roger Honegger, now just hanging on. Legs burning and out of groceries. But this man certainly isn't struggling. Our race leader, 23-year-old Thomas Frischnick. But Frischnick can't let up because Peter Rick is on a charge. From 13th, now in second place, and less than a minute behind. But time is running out. Stopwatch is constantly ticking. That will chase you down. And here comes Thomas Frischnick, headed for the finish line. The Team Ritchie rider from Switzerland, his second World Cup victory in 1993, a great victory, The crowd loves it, and here's Penny with our winner.
I knew when I dropped Tomac in the first descent into the woods, then I knew I gonna win, because I thought that maybe hard to hold Tomac's wheel going down the descent, but then I dropped him in the descent, which surprised me a little bit, and from then on I had a really good motivation all the way through.
A great charge puts second place Peter Rick on the podium today, and the first American, third place David Weems.
When I came around through the start-finish for the Vail lap, I thought I had a bigger gap, or I was hoping I had a bigger gap. Then I heard, we got Peter Rick, and I hadn't heard his name all day, so I knew he was coming on.
The Jeep National Championship standings now look like this. Tinker Juarez on top, followed by John Tomac, Ned Overend, and David Weems. Don't go away. We got the women's cross country coming up. Stay with us. Back at Mount Snow, Vermont for the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series, and as we get set for the women's cross-country race, let's take a look at our current standings. Julie Furtado is on top, Ruthie Mathis second, followed by Sarah Valentine and Lisa Mewitt. As the rain starts to fall here at Mount Snow, let's go to Penny.
Julie, what's on your mind at the start today? Okay. It's raining again. It's raining. What do you think about the course?
Good, I like it.
Is it similar to racing in Great Britain?
No, it's a lot more climbing. It should suit me better. But the weather is like...
You know, I think I'm feeling a little better than I was in the spring. Gone back to the road, done some road training and road racing, and you know, hopefully it's going to pay off today.
But the upper section is going to be nasty, and I think there's going to be a lot more running through there for me than there was yesterday. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Penny, try to stay dry. The rain is really coming down now. We're just seconds away from the start, and there we go. The women are off. It is 5 laps, 20 miles, and right away, Julie Furtado, strong rider, takes the lead. Julie's unbeaten so far in 1993, and as we watch her through this technical section, you can see why. Attacking this very slippery course. And a little problem there. Julie a miscue, obviously okay, but a rare mistake by our points leader. Second place is Ruthie Mathis. And here she comes, a fall as well. But she's back up, and okay, this is a tough section of the course. And this rock is like a giant magnet. Allison Sider going down, and there's Sylvia First wearing the rainbow jersey. Sarah Valentine into the woods. And there was Lisa Buick out of Durango, Colorado. She recovers from a slip. Here is second place, Caroline Alexander of Great Britain, over the rocks, through the mud, and over the roots. Allison Sider now in third place, ahead of Ruthie Mathis and Chantel Decor. The riders trying different lines to see what works. And now our leader heads for the end of lap 1. Here's Penny Davidson with an update. Are you keeping dry, Penny?
The rain is letting up, but not before it wreaked havoc in the single track. Julie Furtado is showing she's an all-around rider. Her technical skills and fitness have brought her first place around the end of lap 1. Ruthie Mathis, the current World Cup champion, is only 47 seconds back. She's followed closely by a pack of 3 riders led by Chantal Decor, Allison Sider, and the world champion Sylvia First. They may be pushing the pace, working together. I'm sure they want to catch Ruthie up there, and then they'll think about Julie. All the top 5 riders are within 1 minute of each other. If the rain starts up again and it gets more slippery, there could be a crash or mechanical, and those places could change very quickly.
The Swiss rider, Chantal Decor, back into the woods. And now it's Julie Furtado on the descent and looking strong and bold. Chantal Decor now in second place, but a little more tentative descending than Julie. And Ruthie Mathis off and running her bike, trying to stay ahead of Allison Sider.
Well, it's a difficult course. I think it's difficult for anyone, and the strongest climbers and the people who can manage the technical descent, especially because it's raining today. It's a little more slippery than it has been in training. Those are the riders who have come out on top today.
The defending world champion Sylvia First in trouble with the first of many falls. And here comes Ruthie Mathis, now in second place and just ahead of Chantel Decor, but a big battle for second place. However, they're out of touch with the leader, the remarkable Julie Furtado.
Julie Furtado's just coming around at the end of lap 2. Last lap, she was leading and smiling. Let's see what she has to say to us right now. How you doing, Jules? I think she's having fun. She's got a comfortable lead, but that last look means it's a little crazy out there. Julie Furtado is about a minute and 55 ahead of two racers, Chantal and Ruthie Mathis. They still believe they can catch Julie. With the rain really coming down right now, anything could happen out there.
Into the technical section, a determined Ruthie Mathis has opened up on Chantel Decor. And Sylvia First, another fall. A rough day for the defending world champion. And Penny, I've got to ask you, can Julie Furtado keep up this pace throughout the season? Won't she eventually burn out?
Well, that is the big question that everyone's asking. However, in the years past, she has faltered. She's come out really strong, won a lot of races, and then dropped right off and not even been a contender at the last couple World Championships. What is different this year is her coaching. She's working with David R. Farmer out of Durango, Colorado. He's putting a heart monitor on her every training day, every race. He's measuring her motor and telling her when to push it and when to back off.
Well, her motor is firing on all 8 cylinders today. The 26-year-old Julie Furtado, the only rider who has ever won both the World Cross Country and Downhill World Championship.
Ruthie Mathis in second place right now, about 3.5 minutes off Julie Furtado. Definitely wants to get ahead of this racer before the single track. She's done it so she can stay on her bike now up through this slippery section. So she's going to push just right over the top there. Chantal Decor in third place here, just about 15 seconds off of Ruthie. She's looking strong also. There she goes.
Fourth place, Allison Sider of Canada on the descent, who is now focused on just trying to hold off Carolyn Alexander of Great Britain. And now Julie Furtado heading for the finish line. Her incredible winning streak continues.
Every time we ask you, Julie, how many in a row have you won, you act like, oh, I don't know, but I know you've got little notches in your bedpost. What do you think?
I think 13. I'm pretty sure. I was really wanted to win this race because it's a NORBA and a World Cup, and I really want to win the World Cup this year. So I had a lot of pressure on myself for this race, and I knew I was riding well, and it just came together.
The final results, Julie Furtado and Ruthie Mathis of the United States, first and second, Chantal Decor of Switzerland, third, and Allison Sider of Canada, fourth.
You learn your lessons each race, and I think this race, it showed that in a race where technical descending obviously does play a key factor. That if I don't stay on my mountain bike a bit more, then I'm losing a bit of an advantage.
So Julie Furtado remains atop the Jeep National Championship Series standings. We'll be right back with the downhill highlights. Stay with us here on ESPN. Peter Graves back with you at Mount Snow, Vermont as the fog rolls in for our men's downhill competition. For a recap, let's go to our colleague and resident kamikaze downhiller, Greg Herbold.
Vision is probably the biggest problem in this type of race. The top, we had to contend with a lot of fog, dense fog and rain. And when you're flying through the mud, your goggles are just clogging up, every 100 feet. There's so much goo on top, so you just have to be flexible and let your bike bounce around underneath you. The grass gets wet, and then the dirt gets wet underneath, and it's grimy. You got to have good tires and a really dialed-in bike, as far as the handling. But I used sheet metal screws on the front and rear of my tires. Provides a little better traction when you're cornering. Doesn't seem to do much for you in the straights. The biggest problem or the biggest risk with that is it has so much traction it tends to rip the tubes out, or the studs will puncture the tube. Luckily, I only fly a couple 100 yards from the finished both runs, so I was in there.
Despite two flat tires, the winner of the men's downhill, Greg Herbold, followed by Jake Watson, Earthquake Jake.
Don't take my picture.
Knocked out of contention with flats in his first run was world champion Dave Cullinan. And flatting on his second run, the great John Tomac, dressed all in black. And Myles Rockwell, who had the fastest time of the day on his first run, showing off for the crowd at the finish.
I used a little bit of alternate lines. I just kind of went wide coming in and cut the corners real tight, getting into the green grass instead of being in the mud. So it gives you a little extra cornering and allows you to rock it out of the corners a little better.
Myles Rockwell, one of the up-and-coming stars. Coming up next, the women's downhill. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. First up in the fog-shrouded women's downhill, the current points leader, our Penny Davidson. And Penny is really going for it. Here, she's having a problem there. She's down, but quickly getting back on the bike. The rain continuing to fall. Penny goes on to set the fastest time so far. But here comes Cindy Devine out of British Columbia, Canada. She should be familiar with these kind of conditions as she puts the hammer down. Cindy Devine, a former world champion. She sets the fastest time in the first run, 7:03.81. And now for our second run. Kim Sonier, fourth after her first get-go. This ex-motocross racer and former mathematics professor isn't looking to stay in fourth place. And Kim Sonier takes the lead. And now Penny Davidson. We've seen her as our expert analyst. Now let's watch her with her game face on. Over the jump. And here she comes, heading for the finish line.
Penny, you are our new leader. Penny Davidson, Big Bear, California.
But there's still more. And here comes Leigh Donovan on her second run. And a bad fall. And Leigh Donovan now into the slalom gates and trying to recover. And this is where it gets tough. Pulling out the fence. Leigh Donovan now back onto the bike and ready to head to the finish line.
Gonna come on down.
So now it all comes down to this. 33 years old, the 1990 world champion, Canadian Cindy Devine, and she pours it on. And here she comes. She pours it on and sets the fastest time in the second run and takes the overall victory. Now our final results, Cindy Devine first, Penny Davidson second, then Kim Sonier and Leigh Donovan. And that keeps Penny on top of our season point standings. Well, despite the weather here in Mount Snow, we've had a marvelous weekend of athletic competition. Some great performances in the downhill and in the cross country. Certainly the continuing story of dominance by Julie Furtado and Thomas Frischnick, the Swiss rider, looking awesome. That sets the stage for our next show. We'll be in Vail, Colorado, the beautiful Rocky Mountains. For Penny Davidson, I'm Peter Graves. So long, everybody. We'll talk off-road cycling again. The Jeep National Championship Series has been brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. This has been a presentation of 303 Studio in association with ESPN.
Yeah. Hi.
Each winter, skiers from around the world descend upon Vail, Colorado, a mountain paradise renowned for its dramatic elevation changes and superb champagne powder snow. But now it's summer in the Rockies. The snow is gone. And today it's the world's fastest mountain bike racers who'll be attacking the challenging Vail slopes as we get set for round number 4 of the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. From Vail, Colorado, it's the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. And it's being brought to you by GT Bicycles, not your typical mountain bike. And by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Welcome to the Vail Village. High cuisine, high fashion, and high mountains await the world's best off-road cyclists. Hello again, everybody. I'm Peter Graves. Delighted to be with you as we are at the midway point of the Jeep National Championship Series. At my side, my colleague Penny Davidson. Penny, we've had a great year so far, and as we approach the midpoint of the season, what are your observations?
In the men's race, we've had 3 different winners in 3 races. The top 4 men are only separated by 10 points. And Dave Wiens and Tinker Juarez are having great seasons. They may challenge the legendary John Tomac and Ned Overend. What's interesting is the women's race. Julie Furtado is unbeaten. It will be interesting to see if anybody can break her winning streak.
Now, this is another Grundig World Cup event. And how do we fare as far as the World Cup scene goes?
Americans are doing fairly well, but they're excited to be back here on their home turf. We have a lot of altitude here at Vail. The Europeans don't care for that.
All right, let's talk about that, because that has been a source of some controversy. The Europeans may find solace here in the beautiful alpine-like village, but the mountains are tough.
Our mountains here in America are a lot higher than in Europe, and there are a couple Europeans, one in particular who's challenged the fact that we have high altitude races, and he's trying to make a rule that you can't race over a certain elevation.
All right, we'll be following that, Penny. Stay in the mountains with us. We'll be right back with the start of the men's cross country in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Peter Graves and Penny Davidson. We're in Vail, Colorado for the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. First up, the men's cross country, and our current point standings look like this, and it's close. Tinker Juarez on top with 157 points, and just 6 points back, John Tomac, followed by David Weens and Ned Overend. You know, the course here at Vail is probably the toughest our riders will face all season. For a preview, here's one of the men who designed the circuit, and we'll be racing on it today, Vail's Mike Closure.
We're starting the village loop, which is going to be the first climb of the race. It's going to take us up through Sherwood Forest, which is a nice little single track section in the woods. After we get out of Onza Alley, we got another very tricky section, which is called Bailey's Bailout, and this is where a lot of the spectators are going to be. So up there's going to be some good action. After the village loop, we're going to head up Gold Peak, and you start a nice little climb. And from Golden Peak, you got a long single track downhill, which will carry you back into Vail Village. After we get through the technical and steep climb of the Lion's Head loop, we go across and head down the Lion's Head downhill. This is a pretty fast downhill, mostly a service road, a little bit of single track and some switchbacks in there. And then we're back into the Vail Village and the start-finish section.
Thanks, Mike. It is a great course. Well, there's tension in the air, and now our riders getting set to start. Let's go to Penny D at the starting line.
Last year on Gold Peak, you kind of came from behind and spanked them right at the end.
Well, I kind of came from behind during the whole race, and you got to have a lot of respect for the course because there's a lot of climbing and it's a long race.
I'm going to go slow, eat some dust at the beginning, and just see what happens out there. See if I can last. Last year I died.
I know it's a tough course, and we know you hate altitude. Is that bothering you a little bit here in Vail?
I don't hate altitude. I hate World Cup finals and worlds in altitude, but I don't hate altitude races. So
I've seen pressure on other riders when they're leading, so it feels, I can feel it. But I think I start relaxing once I get going in the race.
With a total elevation gain of over 6,000 feet, over 39 long miles, this circuit won't give the riders much time to relax. And they're off. 74 of the world's top mountain bike racers start off much like road racers here in the Vail Village. And it is a beautiful scene. Bright blue skies today. And now leaving the Vail Village and beginning a long climb, their first of many climbs up the mountain today. That's Don Myra, the team trek rider, out in front with the entire pack closely behind. Now Myra and the young GT rider, Jimmy Killen of Greeley, Colorado, begin to break away from the pack. And look at this. 20-year-old Jimmy Killen has taken the lead and seems to be opening it up. Now Killen through the tough technical descent. And a surprise, Ned Overend, last year's winner, off to a fast start, riding up into second place. Tinker Juarez in third, followed by Don Myra, Beat Babel, the Swiss cyclocross champion, and Tim Gould of Great Britain. Now into the notorious Bailey's Bailout. Killen is off his bike and running, and the spectators give him a bit of razzing. But this is the toughest technical section of the course. Don't forget it. Tinker Juarez also off his bike. Beat Babel stays on the bike and passes Tinker for second place. And Babel begins to open it up on Tinker. Now, let's go to Penny.
Tinker Juarez, who was very nervous before the start of this race because it's both World Cup and National Championship points, is in a strong third place, looking very good. The big question is, Jimmy Killen just getting out in front for a little bit of exposure, or is he strong and is he going to maintain his lead?
Killen looks remarkably strong right now, riding with the poise of a veteran. But closing in on him are Beat Babel and current Jeep National Points leader Tinker Juarez.
This whole season has been sea level, so it was tough to come here with this like a little over a week of this altitude. But it was tough for everybody else.
And speaking of altitude, Penny, Gerhard Zadrobelik isn't among the race leaders.
Yes, Peter. Gerhard Zadrobelik, the Austrian champion, who's been getting a little bit of a bad rap for his belief that races shouldn't be over a certain altitude, had a little bit of bad luck today. He has pulled out of the race with a front tire mechanical only after about 15 minutes.
Thanks, Ben. Into the woods, and Tinker is right behind Jimmy Killen. And they're being chased by Beat Vobble and the Englishman Tim Gould. Now back into the Vail Village. Let's once again go to Penny.
Beat Wobble, Tim Gould, and Tinker Juarez, our top three all really close together. This stair section is the trademark of the Vail course. It's only one of the few American races that comes through an urban setting. And the crowd here, the vacation crowd in Vail, they love it. What we've got now is Jimmy Killen. He's dropped down to 4th place. He must have felt that hard first effort of the first 2 laps. Don Myra, 5th place. John Tomac moving up into 6th, getting a little bit of crowd leads in air. John loves the crowd. Dave Weeds, oh, he's got that look. John Wiesenreiter, great a climber, right on his wheel, and Ned Overend, our favorite.
Our top 3 are coming through the dust, led by Beat Vobble. And then the Englishman, Tim Gould, slingshots by Tinker Juarez. The leaders are now riding 3 abreast. It is Gould, Juarez, and Vobble. Take a snapshot, it looks like a road race, as they all fall into a pace line, drafting each other, conserving their energy for the climbs that lie ahead. Now into the single track. Vobble and Juarez have pulled away from Tim Gould. Don Myra, Tinker Juarez, struggling a little bit, and a fall by Myra. And this is a very tough section of the course. Penny, how is Jimmy Killen faring?
Midpoint through this race, our original race leader, Jimmy Killen, the young GT rider who was leading the race for the first couple laps, has dropped down to 6th place. He's a minute and a half off of our leader's time, Beat Wobble. Beat has put a 30-second gap on 2nd place Tinker Juarez. Don Myra, our cyclocross racer, has now moved into 3rd place. John Tomac, who normally leads the race from the start, is taking a little more conservative approach today and maybe finding his climbing legs. He's about a minute back. The last 2 World Cup races, he's led or been in the top 5, and then after 4 or 5 laps, he ends up in the back. Today may be a different story for John Tomac.
After a fast start, Ned Overend is falling back on the descent. And here comes our leader, down the long descent. Looking back, but there's no one there. And his lead has grown to over a minute. Already a battle of tactics, stamina, and endurance. Back into the village for Penny.
Beat Wobble, our Swiss rider, he's still in the lead. But instead of having a minute and a half over Tinker Juarez, he's got a minute over Don Myra. Don Myra had a secret in his eyes, it looked like, at the start of this race, and he is having a great race. Tinker may be blowing a little bit, but he's holding on to 3rd.
5th place, John Wiesenreiter on the left, begins to make his move on the long climb, past a tired Tim Gould, and setting his sights on 3rd place, Tinker Juarez. And he's by Tinker now. Here he comes. And Tinker looks like he may be starting to fade a bit, as Albert Eichen of Switzerland goes by on the inside. 1st place, Beat Vobble on the descent, and into the final climb now. He spent 2 weeks training here in the high altitude at Vail, and now it seems to be paying off. But it's not over yet, because this man, Don Myra, is on a move, on a mission. Myra's a strong climber. He's cut 30 seconds off Vobble's lead, and he can see him running just ahead. But there's less than a mile to go, and time is running out. Now at the finish line, the winner, Beat Vobble, and here comes Vobble. At 2nd place, Don Myra right behind. 3rd place goes to John Wiesenreiter. And here's Penny standing by with our winner.
Ich wusste, dass die hohen Grund war. It was good preparation for this event here. And the altitude, he is staying here since 2 weeks now, and I think that it makes him able to perform as he did today. So so it was no problem for him. And he felt in a very good shape after the Tour de Suisse, so he came here very self-conscious.
Piat Pavel the winner, Don Myra second, John Weisenreeder in third, Albert Eiton fourth, and in fifth, Tinker Juarez. That keeps Tinker on top of the Jeep National Championship point standings. Now we'll be right back with the women's cross country, so stick around. Peter Graves back with you from Vail for the Jeep National Championship Series. And as we get set for the women's cross-country competition, let's take a look at our current point standings. On top, as she's been all season long, the formidable Julie Furtado. Second place, Ruthie Mathis. What's it like trying to beat Julie Furtado? Well, Ruthie has come the closest.
Some of the races she may have had tough races. She said so after the race. Wow, that was really hard. But I think she's just risen to another level, and I hope that that's inspiring me to do the same.
We're just about set for the start, so let's go to Penny at the starting line.
I have a little bit of anxiety about some of the technical parts, as per normal for me, but there's one big scary part in there that I've got down pat, so I'm happy about my race already.
All right, what part's that?
It's called Bailey's Bailout. It's a big drop-off.
You didn't ride Bailey's this year yet?
No. So have your camera there, because if I try and ride it, I might have a nice pass.
Julie Furtado, always the competitor. The women will ride 20.25 miles on this demanding Vail circuit. There's a total elevation gain of 3,800 feet. And they're off for the start here in the beautiful Vail Village. It is Susan DiMattei, the Diamondback rider, off to a good start as they head out of the village. Susan from Gunnison, Colorado. But now you guessed it, it is Julie Furtado already taking the lead. Let's go to Penny.
Peter, this Vail course is very important to Julie. It was here last year that she lost the World Cup Championship to Ruthie Mathis. She tied in points, but Ruthie got the win because Ruthie won here last year. Next year is the World Championships here at this Vail course. I'm sure Julie wants to give her best performance and see what her time can be and how she's going to stack up next to her competition on this World Championship course.
All right, Ruthie Mathis is in second, and once again chasing Julie. Chantal Decor third. Tammy Jacques fourth, and Cornelia Sulzer of Austria fifth, who's been a member of their country's national cross-country ski team. Now into the infamous Bailey's Bailout, Julie Furtado, and unlike many of the men, she's able to stay on her bike. Ruthie Mathis on her bike as well, but going off course, into the trees, getting out, and she's okay. There is Chantal Decor, a little more cautious, Tammy Jacques. And there is Cornelia Sulzer. And Susan DiMattei stays on her bike.
A lot of people, even some guys, aren't attempting, but it's almost easier, I think, for the women because we have a little less weight, so not so much momentum to carry you over the bars. So I'm excited about that, and it's always nice when you know that in 2 hours you'll be done.
But these riders still have a long way to go.
3,800 feet of total climbing, 20 miles. Sarah Ballantyne in sixth place, looking strong. She's ready to go. We've got world champion Sylvia first, looking for her climbing legs.
They're all trying to catch this rider, Julie Furtado, as she begins a long uphill climb. And as always, expectations are high. Speaking of climbs, how's the road racer Inga Thompson doing, Penny?
This is a climber's race, and you'd think Inga would do well, but it is also one of the most well-rounded courses in terms of technical difficulty. And after that first descent through Onza Alley, Inga Thompson had an endo, and we saw her riding off the course. She didn't look too happy. Now, Ruthie Mathis only about a minute and a half back. We've got our third place racer coming by. It's still Chantal Decor. She's about 2 minutes back, half a minute off of second place. Now we've got a fourth place rider, number 216, Tammy Jacques, who had just mentioned she had a broken nose and wasn't able to breathe.
Well, I was observing basketball like a week ago, and the ball went out of court and hit me in the nose pretty hard, and so I had to get it fixed last Tuesday. I had a nose operation, so breathing's kind of hard.
We're looking for Julie Furtado. Taking it kind of easy down the stairs. Oh no, getting a little air. Yeah, she's having fun. 3 of the 5 laps are over. Julie Furtado still is in the lead, but she has gained about 48 seconds on second place, Ruthie Mathis. Here's Chantal Decor, only about 15 seconds behind third place, Tammy Jacques.
Chantal Decor now on the descent. The 27-year-old Swiss rider was the 1991 European cross-country champion. And now Susan DiMattei beginning to make her move, chasing down third place Tammy Jacques. And Susan DiMattei has now passed Tammy Jacques for third place. When you watch Tammy go by, look at the bandage on her broken nose. That can't make breathing any easier here at 8,000 feet. They're heading towards the final climb. This is Ruthie Mathis.
Sure, any day I could have a personal rival with someone, but I try not to focus on other people, and I try and focus on my own skills and improving those.
Julie now has opened up a 3-minute lead over Ruthie Mathis. Julie Furtado, a native of New York, but like many of our top riders, she now lives and trains in Durango, Colorado, which I'm sure beats dodging those New York City cabs. And here comes Julie Furtado through the beautiful Vail Village, heading for the finish line, 15 consecutive victories.
The only regret is that I made a mistake before Bailey's bail on the second lap and had to run it. That's my only regret.
It was only a small technical error, so it wasn't a perfect race in your eyes.
Yeah, I wanted to ride it again.
The final results: first place Julie Furtado, second Ruthie Mathis, third Susan DiMattei, fourth Tammy Jacques, and that keeps Julie on top of the season standings and moves Susan into fourth with 2 races to go. Next up, the exciting dual slalom. We're going to catch our breath here at Vail, and we'll be back. Peter Graves back with you at Vail, Colorado for the Jeep National Championship Series. The dual slalom is up next. It's new to pro mountain bike racing this year, but this event is modeled after the head-to-head dual slalom ski races. And former ski racer Missy Giove explains in her own inimitable style.
Fashion come out of the turn into the next one. Just boom, 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 boom. Really with fast reactions. Looking ahead, picking the right lines. You know, it's all about like ski racing. From ski racing background, it's about like how you approach the gate, just like a turn, you know. Except like the gate's dictating where you're turning. So it's just about, you know, if you take a really bad line, like, you know, if you take a wide line, you come out really late on your next gate, and you're gonna have trouble, and you're scruff, speed scruff, and then before you know it, you're like off the back, and you're like, oh, sorry, you're gonna make it. That's races I've had is when everything just flows. You don't think about anything, it just happens. But you do that because of practice, because of training, because you're confident. You know, just put it all together, and it's just gotta be on. It's just that feeling, and it's hard because you gotta be caught on at that time, at that moment, to be your best right now. It's like showtime, you know, you're racing. So it's hard to do all the time, especially to be consistent. It's really hard. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
All right, well, did you get all that, folks? We're going to have a test on it later. Well, it is showtime. It's rock and roll time here in Vail, and we're ready for the start of the women's finals here in Vail, Colorado. At the top of the course, on the left, Giovanna Bonazzi from Italy. On the right of your screen is Leigh Donovan out of Orange, California. Should be a great matchup here. Let's watch them closely. One minor miscue, and you can be out of this competition. And it is a fairly even match right now as they get ready to approach the very difficult and tricky steep part of this course. It is a 15-gate course right now. A slight lead for Giovanna Bonazzi dropping in. Now Bonazzi really putting on the pedals right now. It is Giovanna Bonazzi who will come up with a victory, followed by Leigh Donovan, the Swiss rider. Rita Berge is in third place, and Kim Sonier is in fourth. Don't go away. We'll be back with the men's finals after this timeout. Welcome back to Vail, Colorado, everybody. We got the dual slalom coming up, and what's it like to do it? Listen.
First time scary here. These are pretty big. These are big going in first time. Yeah, real scary.
Eddie's right about that, and we're ready to go to the first run of the men's semifinals. It will pit Brian Lopes against Dave Cullinan and Mike King against Myles Rockwell. Now at the top, it is Brian Lopes to the left of your screen, Dave Cullinan to the right. They're in the start house, ready to go for the men's semifinals. A good, clean start right now. Cullinan is the defending world downhill champion. Brian Lopes with that great BMX background, and Lopes is down around the corner. Now Cullinan looks over his shoulder. He's got it made. Cullinan will advance into the finals. Now we have Myles Rockwell going up against Mike King. This should be a good matchup. King, in his debut year from the BMX background, has been awesome in mountain biking. A great match here, but it looks like King will take it. So our finals are going to be looking like this. It is going to be Mike King to the left, Dave Cullinan to the right of your screen. Here we go. Good matchup. Very strong riders right now. Cullinan out of Durango, Colorado. Mike King out of California. Here we go. King appears to be putting on the speed and advancing over Cullinan. King very strong around the... Oh, he's unbelievable. King is going to cross the finish line and come up with a victory over Dave Cullinan. Cully in second, Myles Rockwell in third. It has been a great match. Watch this guy, Mike King. He's got a big future in this sport.
Making up the disadvantage he had after the first run and winning it. Great confidence.
Well, we've had a marvelous weekend in the mountains of Colorado, and I think we've got a new superstar that we need to write down, Penny Davidson, that of the Swiss cyclocross champ, Beat Wabel. He was awesome.
Yeah, you know, he surprised a lot of Americans, but not himself. He's used to winning. He's a Swiss cyclocross champion. He came here 2 weeks ago, acclimated. He expected to do well, but I don't think he expected to win.
For the Americans, Don, the Mudman Myra, showing that he could do more on dry conditions instead of just mud. He loves it here. He did well. And a great story of young Jimmy Killen, 20 years old, coming up with a top 10 performance. Great for him.
Jimmy was exciting to watch. He's only 20 years old, and here he is racing with the very best names. John Tomac, he's ahead of Ned Overend. He led the race for 2 laps. Everyone thought he would blow, but he hung on to an 8th place finish.
You think of golf and dominance, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, perhaps in skiing, Jean-Claude Killy. But right now in mountain biking, the dominant story is that of Julie Furtado.
Incredible. She has won 15 straight races. She's elevating women's racing. I think at first the other women might have been discouraged by her dominance, but now I think they're going to rise to the occasion and be challenged by it. Watch for them to change their training this winter.
All right, well, we've had a great time here. We'll return for the World Championships next year, but next week we'll be traveling to Mammoth Lakes, California, as the Jeep National Championship Series continues. For Penny Davidson, I'm Peter Graves. So long, everybody, from Vail, Colorado. The Jeep National Championship Series has been brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Yeah. Hi.
They call it the granddaddy of mountain bike races, for it was here in the rugged terrain and rarefied air of Mammoth Lakes, California, that the sport first came of age. Today it's the site of round 5 of the 1993 Jeep National Championship Series, as the world's fastest mountain bike racers get set for the grueling cross-country competition and the maniacal kamikaze downhill, where they start at 11,000 feet, hitting speeds of 60 miles an hour in their race to the finish. From Mammoth Lakes, California, it's the Jeep National Championship Series. And it's brought to you by GT Bicycles, not your typical mountain bike. And by Bud Dry, the less filling beer with a lot more taste. Why ask why? It is a picture postcard day in the high Sierras in mountains that in the mid of summer ironically bear the snows of winter. Hello again, everybody. I'm Peter Graves, along with my colleague Penny Davidson. We're pleased to be here at Mammoth Lakes, California for the continuation of the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. Penny, it's always fun to come here. Great excitement. This year, we have the largest crowd of mountain bikers ever gathered in the United States.
Yes, we have 4,000 starts at this race here this week. You know, it was just a little while ago that mountain biking was out of the mainstream, and the athletes weren't really experienced in other sports. Now we have world-class athletes and races for all ages and abilities. We have a week-long worth of activities. It's like a festival here.
It really is. It's going to be very exciting. Now, coming up, we have got the cross-country event. It's both the World Cup and the Jeep National Championship Series. And, of course, we'll take to the trails of the famed kamikaze downhill here at Mammoth. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the cross-country. Peter Graves and Penny Davidson back at Mammoth Lakes, California for the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. First up is the men's cross country, and we are locked in a classic chase for the series championship among 4 riders. On top, Tinker Juarez, who has been Mr. Consistency all season long. Second is the powerful David Weens, a man who loves riding at altitude. And third, John Tomac, known for his fearless descending skills. And fourth, the veteran, 37-year-old Ned Overett, the defending series champion. Here's Ned with a preview of the course he'll be facing today.
It's got a super fast start. It's a wide road, and there's a lot of draft in there because the speeds are so high. Then you'll come into a soft single track section at the bottom of the course. Then you start the longest climb up from the bottom of the course, and there's a lot of granny gear climbing. You come up, you come down a fast downhill, and you get into this single track section which traverses across the hill. Then you come back down, you drop down into the start-finish area, and then you climb back up to Red's Lake. You then hit your longest single track section which descends you right back through the start-finish again.
Thanks, Ned, and good luck. As the riders get set, let's go to Penny at the starting line with the series leader, Tinker Juarez.
You know, I still got a little butterflies, but definitely more calm today. Just knowing that, you know, it's just one race away from Michigan.
Before every race, I think I'm going to win. I'm going to try to win, so it's no different today.
I've just been riding, you know, a little bit consistent in the top 10, and it's paying off.
The men will ride 3 laps around this very difficult 12.8-mile circuit, and the biggest factor today could be the wind, a 20-mile-per-hour headwind on some of the long climbs. And they're off here. These riders will be making a total vertical climb of 1,400 feet each lap to a maximum elevation of 9,900 feet. I can tell you it won't be an easy race. Albert Eiton of Switzerland goes for the lead at the get-go. And now the pack, being a little bit cautious, starting to sort itself out. Into the first climb, and it's American Don Myra who was out in front, looking back and seeing David Weens and Englishman Tim Gould right behind. The leaders in a tight pack, Myra, Weens, Gould, Ned Overett, and Tinker Juarez. Snow in the background, now as the front pack reaches the top of this long and brutal climb, and ready to begin the descent at the top. And David Weens goes by Myra and into the lead, but Myra hangs right on his wheel. All in a row now, the top 5 riders heading back down the mountain in a screaming descent. Into the final part of the downhill, and it's Weens still in front, Myra, Gould, and Juarez right behind, and just 10 seconds back, Albert Eiton, John Weisenreiter, and John Tomac. David Weens and Tim Gould side by side for the lead, and Weens knows that lurking just behind, waiting to make their move, are the 3 men he's battling for the series championship. Now past Red's Lake, and the top 3 begin to break away, single file, tucked in the draft. And you can see the gap they've opened up on the second pack. Now as we head into the chicane for the completion of lap 1, it's David Weens of Gunnison, Colorado in the lead. Right behind is Tim Gould. Penny?
Tim's right there. John's focused. They're going to go catch him. They got a tailwind. Dave looks back. Ned Overett, 4th in the national standings, 4th right at this point. He's got to be happy that his fitness is here. Clicking his grip shift down. He's taking off. You can hear the crowd go for their favorite, Ned. John Weisenreiter and Tinker. Crowd favorite, John Tomac. Albert Eiton right on his wheel. Albert got 4th last week in Vail. Johnny wants to go catch these guys. Put the hammer down. We have a great race here. Only after 1 lap, 13 miles and 1,500 feet. The top 10 riders are all within 15 seconds. That is rare in mountain biking. Usually, riders string out, they lose sight of each other, and gaps widen. This is going to be a fun race for the racers because they're going to be trading off places, jockeying for position, and fighting for that lead. With the wind out there, that may be encouraging them to draft. We'll see if they still stay together after this second long climb.
Ned Overett leading the second pack. John Weisenreiter, John Tomac, Albert Eiton, and Tinker Juarez. Back to the front, Don Myra has moved back into the lead. Weens and Gould content to let him set the pace. And the second pack now just coming into view. The leaders tucked in tight together, nearing the top of this brutal climb. And the second pack still on the ascent as the leaders begin their descent. And now the chase group, hoping to close the gap, begins their charge down the mountain. Let's go to Penny.
Our lead group of riders is just coming into view. Don Myra, who got third in Vail last week and is leading Dave Weens and Tim Gould. Trying to stay together. They got about 1:46 on the next group.
Penny, we have a report that John Tomac has just broken away from the second pack and may be making one of his patented Tomac attacks. He's on a charge and beginning to catch these riders, Myra, Weens, and Gould. Myra, Weens, and Gould sounds like a law firm. Alone out on the course now, John Tomac has made up 40 seconds on a solo break. And now John Tomac heading into the feed zone for a quick pit stop on this hot day. And John Weisenreiter of Colorado passes Ned Overend. Tinker Juarez running behind. Weisenreiter and Tinker pick up the pace and quickly put 45 seconds on Overend, who appears to be fading, a rare sight for this great champion. We're looking down at the leaders below, headed into the chicane near the end of lap 2 and picking up a tailwind. Penny?
This wind is really keeping these guys together. It is a long course. We'll see when and where they make their break. The longer the wait, the more exciting it will be because it'll be closer to the end of the race.
As we get ready to start the third and final lap, a very dramatic race, and there's an old saw that you never pick the leader in this until the third and final lap begins. Right now, Don Myra has dropped off the pace. Our leader still David Weens and the Englishman Tim Gould.
Yes, but what's really exciting now is John Tomac. He is showing his incredible Tomac attack. He has come off a 4-person chase group and blown it apart. Ned Overend has fallen off of it, and in the middle of that is John Weisenreiter and Tinker Juarez. John is only 30 seconds off the lead pace right now.
So Tomac surging. He wants this race badly. We're going to send Penny back out in the course. The leader, Tim Gould, looks back, hoping he has dropped Weens on the climb. But he hasn't. But dropping back is third place, Don Myra, about to be inhaled by John Tomac, still on the attack, hoping he has enough left to catch the leaders as he begins the descent. And he's going for it. John Tomac, perhaps the best descender in our race today. And to close the gap, he's got to let it all hang out in typical fashion. Now let's go to Penny.
All right, Dave Weens with his downhilling skills and his mass is taking this turn first. Tim Gould right on his tail. T is sliding through this last turn, taking the fast inside line. There he goes. He has just eaten up Don Myra, and he believes he can get on that podium.
Back at the front, first and second place, Tim Gould and David Weens, working together. They know Tomac is on a charge and not far behind, but he's doing it alone. But if they can take turns in the lead, it could set up a two-man sprint to the finish. This has certainly been the closest and most dramatic race we have seen all year. Now, in a bold and decisive move, David Weens goes into the lead, into the final descent. Penny, it's a mind game. What are these guys thinking about now?
Tim Gould and Dave Weens have ridden just about 39 miles, and they are now so close they can touch each other. It looks like this is going to come down to one of the rare sprints in mountain biking. It's a downhill finish.
And here they come, into the final downhill. Weens still in the lead, Gould just inches behind. It's steamroller time, only a few hundred yards to go. Here's Penny at the finish line.
Here they are coming through the finish. Let's see how close it is between the two of them.
Up there on the hill with the come on, Mammoth!
Here we've got Dave Weens powering through. About 10 seconds ahead. Look at that smile. Wow!
Second place, Tim Gould, who couldn't drop David Weens today.
Well, I'm sure he was hoping he could drop me, just like, you know, whenever you're in front, you're hoping you're going to drop that person. But there was a pretty stiff headwind, so it would have been hard. But I think he was climbing stronger, but the wind really equalized it today.
We worked together really, and just happened that David had the edge, with that little bit more speed on the single track.
Third place, John Tomac. Despite a valiant effort, his Tomac attack comes up just short. And for Ned Overend, a disappointing day.
Where was I fading? Right through the feed zone. It kind of caught up with me, and I started dying there, and then I kind of just put it in survival mode. I'm still having trouble catching my breath.
So David Wiens moves into the Jeep National Championship Series lead with one race to go. Ticker Juarez drops to second. We'll be right back with the women's cross country. Stick around. Along with Penny Davidson, this is Peter Graves back with you from Mammoth Lakes, California. After that exciting men's race, we're getting ready for the women, and our series standings look like this. On top, Julie Furtado, undefeated in 1993 with a 15-race winning streak on the line. Is the pressure getting to Julie? Here's Penny with our leader.
For today only. You could drop this race.
I could. I could go get coffee right now. I could watch. I could spectate with you. Maybe I will.
Why
don't
see you?
Julie pretty loose before the start here at Mammoth. And the women are off. It is 2 laps, 25.6 miles around this very difficult circuit. It is Julie Furtado jumping right into the lead. The Swiss rider Sylvia first in second, followed by Susan DiMattei and Ruthie Mathis. Into the uphill, and Julie Furtado, as expected, with superb fitness, begins to open up on Susan DiMattei, now in second place. Susan has had a terrific year so far and is a very strong climber. Living in Gunnison, Colorado, she likes racing at these altitudes. Penny, we have a report now that Ruthie Mathis has stopped on the course.
Yes, Peter, and only within 5 minutes of the start, she's had a flat. She's already 10 minutes down. It looks impossible that she can come back and get any good points today.
A bad break for Ruthie, but a good break for the leader, Julie Furtado, now at the top of the climb, chased by Susan DiMattei and Jill Smith of Vancouver, Canada, now in third. Susan DiMattei staying close to Furtado as they begin the descent, but descending is Julie's secret weapon. And where's the rainbow jersey to prove it? A title she won last year at Vermont, Quebec, Canada at the World Downhill Championships. Penny?
Mammoth has one of the fastest descents of any cross country. Julie Furtado shows why she's the world champion downhiller. She put some time on Susan, but Susan is going to be highly motivated to pick up some points here since Ruthie Mathis is flatted.
Susan DiMattei out of Gunnison, Colorado, having her best race of the year and giving Julie Furtado her stiffest challenge so far this season. Penny?
Powering out of here, getting up out of the saddle. She's keeping her speed nice through here, too. Let's see if she gets some power coming out of here. There she is. She's looking just as good as Julie through here. Staying up, shifting down, getting some speed. Third place is up for grabs. Jill Smith is there, Chantal DeCourt, and Tammy Jacques. Tammy Jacques may end up in 5th for this race, but she's going to get 3rd place points if she can keep that position. And look at Tammy go right after him. She's spinning so hard, the back end's moving back and forth.
Second place, Susan DiMattei. And look at this, Julie Furtado cheering her on. Julie can afford to be a little cavalier, knowing that her closest pursuer in the series championship, Ruthie Mathis, has flatted and is far back in the pack.
Ruthie Mathis is the consummate professional, former world champion, former World Cup champion. She hasn't really gained any time, but it'd be easy for a lot of people to quit right now. Ruthie isn't letting that happen. I'm sure she's figured she's trained really hard. She wants to use this race as a testing ground and a training ground for her fitness.
But Penny, no one is testing the fitness of Julie Furtado today. She now has over a 2-minute lead over Susan DiMattei and is ready to head into the final descent. And here she comes, the amazing Julie Furtado, 16 straight wins. Well, the Colorado women strike gold and silver in the California mountains today.
Look at Susan's run.
I'm happy, Susan. That's great.
Oh, thanks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Congratulate you. Hey, girl.
Way to go. Dang. No problem.
She was just playing with us.
So Julie Furtado keeps her remarkable winning streak alive. Susan DiMattei second, the Canadian Jill Smith third, And Julie holds on to the leader's jersey here in Mammoth. Well, we're going to be right back with the exciting, dramatic Kamikaze downhill from Mammoth. Stick around. Peter Graves back with you at Mammoth Lakes, California, as we get set for the wildest ride in mountain biking, the Kamikaze downhill. It starts, folks, at 11,000 feet, and the riders plunge 2,150 feet on the insane 3.5-mile run that should see big air at speeds of 60 miles an hour.
This is the fastest, most open, speed downhill. Speed is what it's all about.
Most of our speeds the whole way down are between like 45 and 60.
The adrenaline is pretty good when you're going that fast. It's really the only place on the circuit that we reach these speeds, and it's just a big open freeway. Just let it fly. There's a lot of forces, when you're going that fast, pulling you to the outside of the corner or pushing you in this or that direction. And if you try to overcorrect, that's when a lot of guys will go down. If I had to pick a guy, I'd say Jimmy Deaton. Right now, Jimmy really likes his course and seems to ride really good on the fast open stuff, so he'd be my pick at this point.
Here's Johnny T's pick, jamming Jimmy Deaton. He set the record here last year, and he is flying today. Through the radar, 59 miles an hour, the fastest speed yet. The Yeti rider now getting ready to set up for the switchback. Catching some air now, and here he comes, headed to the finish line. Folks, we could be looking at a new Kamikaze record. The crowd loving this. Jimmy Deaton's time going to be coming up on the board here. It is 4:40.52. It's a new record, and that combined with his first run gives him first place. Myles. Rockwell is in second. Now we turn to the women. It was Missy Giove who set the fast time on her first run. But in the second run, defending champion Kim Sonier, who had mechanical problems her first time out, turns it on for the fastest time so far. Missy the Missile Giove on the launching pad for her second run. Zoning in now as we begin the final countdown, Penny.
Show me that little thing you do when you want to zone in and get zen.
Oh, when I'm breathing? All right.
We have liftoff. Missy the Missile aimed down the 2,150-foot vertical drop. She kicks in the afterburner.
Faster, faster. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Good job, go. Faster.
Now, what are you thinking about when you're racing and you're going really fast? Are you going like that inside?
I'm going to. Hurry up. I don't care who's there. Go, pedal, pedal. Do it, you're cool, good.
We could be looking at the first woman to break 5 minutes in the Kamikaze downhill. Missy catching some air. And now on final approach, here she comes into the last turn, and Missy goes down. A fall just 500 feet for the finish line, but amazingly, look at this. She is back on the bike, headed for the finish line. Talk about guts. She takes first place even with that fall.
Focusing too much on that big banner that said finish, and I was just hammering around the corner and let it go a little bit too much for, I think, for my weight, couldn't weight my front tire enough, and it just washed out and I win.
The unique and talented Missy Giove coming up with first. Giovanna Bonazzi second. Fourth, our analyst Penny Davidson, and that keeps Penny on top of the season-long standings. Good going. All right, we're going to let you catch your breath, and then we're going to return to Mammoth Mountain with the most exciting dual slalom you've ever seen. Keep it here. Back at Mammoth Lakes, California for the men's dual slalom. Peter Graves with you. You know, this event has provided some of the most exciting action we've seen all year, and the Mammoth race was no exception. Qualifying on the tricky course claimed many top riders, including world champion Dave Cullinan. Right here and in your face. And that set up the final run for the men's championship between Brian Lopes and Keome Waller. Waller on the right had to make up 1.5 seconds on Lopes, who won the first heat. And here's the race as we called it live.
And after all these runs, it has come down to this, the final run in our control tech dual slalom.
And they're on course. And Kiyomi Waller gets a great start. Kiyomi Waller out in front. Brian Lopes. Kiyomi Waller in front. And it is still Kiyomi Waller with the front of Brian Lopes. Can he make up the 1.5?
Waller right on the edge. Waller's trying to make up that time. Goes down. Lopes goes down. Kiyomi's
Unbelievable!
Waller, Lopes pressing.
Waller first across the finish line, but not quick enough to catch Lopes, who takes the overall win on the basis of combined score.
Kiyomi looked back to see where Lopes was, and he miscalculated.
As I went down, I knew I had a 1.5, so I knew there was, a chance. That's why I just got up right away, and never know what's going to happen in racing.
It has been a great weekend here at Mammoth Mountain, California, and not unexpectedly, Julie Furtado coming up with her 16th straight victory.
Yes, and I'm sure the other women are still wondering what Julie did last season for her training.
I'm sure they are indeed, and for the Colorado Golden Boy, David Weens, yet another victory.
The closest race yet in our Jeep National Championship Series, and Dave has got to be happy that he came out the winner in that tight sprint with Tim Gould.
We also had a very exciting downhill competition, and Penny, it's all going to be decided when we return for the finale of the Jeep Series at Traverse City, Michigan. Until then, for Penny Davidson, I'm Peter Graves. So long, everybody, from Mammoth Lakes, California. The Jeep National Championship Series has been brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Yeah. Hi.
Mountain bike racing is a test of endurance. The ability to endure long, brutal, high-altitude climbs, and the ability to endure everything the mountain throws at you. On the treacherous high-speed descents, there is no time to rest. And now the chase for the men's national championship has come down to the final race. It's a three-way battle among riders with three very different styles. David Weens, the powerful climber who gives his all on high-altitude ascents. John Tomac, the fearless descender who makes his time on the tricky downhill sections. And Tinker Juarez, the ex-BMX racer who has developed into the most consistent rider on the tour. Who will be the next king of the hill? Today, we'll find out as we take to the rolling hills of northern Michigan for the final shootout. From Traverse City, Michigan, it's the final round of the Jeep National Championship Series. And it's being brought to you by GT Bicycles, not your typical mountain bike. And by Bud Dry, the less filling beer with a lot more taste. And by Head & Shoulders, and Head & Shoulders 2-in-1, because great hair can't have flakes. It is a beautiful autumn-like day as we welcome you to northern Michigan and the finale of the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. Hello again, everybody. I'm Peter Graves, along with my colleague, Penny Davidson. We've been together all season long, and we're having a great time. And Penny, I can't believe the season is over. But for Julie Furtado, a story of incredible dominance.
Julie has won every single race this year, and barring something very unusual like a mechanical or flat, she will wear the national championship jersey after today.
For the men, it's been an entirely different situation. Take the best riders in the U.S., throw them into a big mixing bowl, and every week we've had a different champion.
Three names that have been coming up consistently are David Juarez, or Tinker, Dave Weens, and John Tomac. I think it will come right down to the wire today.
Should be some great racing. And this, our final show, we'll take a special 1-hour look at the entire season. It should be great. Stay with us. We got the cross country straight ahead. Peter Graves and Penny Davidson back with you at Traverse City, Michigan for the finals of the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. And as we await the start of the men's cross country, let's take a look back at how this very dramatic battle for the championship was set up. It began in the high altitude of Big Bear Lake, California, with over 60 riders taking to the start, each believing he had a chance at the series championship. It was Rishi Graywall who led the early going before David Wiens came out of the pack to take charge. And by the finish, he had built a 4-minute advantage over Graywall, Tinker Juarez, and John Tomac.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the splits I was getting, how far I was behind Wiens. He must have just had a super day, and that's really unbelievable.
Well, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Great racing today, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Penny.
The finishing order: David Wiens, Rishi Graywall, Tinker Juarez, and John Tomac. Then it was into the mud of Bloomington, Indiana, where John Tomac led from start to finish, while the others struggled just to stay on their bikes.
Well, it was pretty miserable the whole time, you know. I just tried to do a good tempo, and, you know, I ran pretty well for at least 5 laps, and then the other times I had to kind of go a little slower, but I think I made more time up in the trees on the descent a little bit than the good runners could, like Jan, on the climb. So it was just a situation where my advantage was bigger than his, I think.
John Tomac the winner, as Jan Wijak and Tinker Juarez battled for second.
Mud racing, I haven't had a good result in a long time, so I'm really pleased with this result. It was really tough, slippery, no traction, just sliding everywhere.
And Ned Overend, who came back after an early flat.
If you hadn't flatted and you'd stayed in those positions, do you think you would have found that same energy to find 3 minutes again?
I think if I hadn't flatted, I probably would have won the next 3 races.
The results showed Tomac on top, Jan Wijak in second, Tinker Juarez third, and Ned Overend in fourth. Then Mount Snow, Vermont, the first of 3 U.S. races to count for Grundig World Cup points. And the Europeans, led by Thomas Frischnick, set off on a blistering pace, with Tomac in hot pursuit.
So without the Europeans, I wouldn't have been out in front, you know, pushing as hard as I was, because they were really setting the pace, and I was just trying to stay within reach.
When Tomac faltered, Frischnick broke away, took the World Cup win, followed by fellow European Peter Rick. David Wiens third, the top American.
Luckily, he was the only one that got by me. I was actually thinking that maybe Ned would come by too. And at the very top of the course, those guys were only a stone's throw behind me, and I punched it, got to the single track ahead of him, and never really felt him get that close.
Ned Overend took fourth, and John Tomac faded, surrendering the leader's jersey to Tinker Juarez. Halfway through the season, you can see just how close the championship chase was. Next, on to Vail, Colorado, perhaps the most demanding circuit on the tour. Young American Jimmy Killen surprised everyone by grabbing the early lead, chased by Tinker Juarez and the European rider Beat Vabel. Then Vabel made this dramatic move to pass Juarez and take the lead, holding off a late race charge by Don Myra.
I didn't know, whether I could hold that pace or not, but by about the second lap, I was pretty sure I was going to ride pretty consistent and well.
John Weisenreiter also passed Juarez, who was now beginning to feel the pressure of wearing the leader's jersey.
I've seen the pressure on, Ned and all the top riders before, and I know they go through a lot, and I know it takes a lot out of you. I just felt that kind of pressure, today.
But rivals John Tomac, David Wiens, and Ned Overend were also feeling the pressure and failed to make ground on Tinker. As the series moved to Mammoth Lakes, California for round 5, Tinker held a very slim lead in the standings. With second place going to David Wiens. John Tomac was in third, and Ned Overend in fourth, not far behind. Mammoth Lakes, early in the race, Wiens leads a tight pack that saw 10 riders all within seconds of each other. Then it was Don Myra, Wiens, and the Englishman Tim Gould breaking away in a lead pack, pursued by the chase pack that included Ned Overend, John Tomac, and Tinker Juarez. In the final lap, Tomac made a solo break and began closing on the leaders.
Tomac was coming, and we saw him down there, so I think we started getting nervous and picking it up a little bit.
And pick it up they did. At the finish, Wiens outsprinted Gould for the victory and moved into the series points lead. John Tomac's attack got him third place and moved him within 2 points of Tinker Juarez, who dropped from the top of the leaderboard. And Ned Overend saw his hopes for a 7th national championship fade away.
Where was I fading? Right through the feed zone. It kind of caught up with me, and I started dying there, and then I kind of just put it in survival mode.
And now it's come down to the final race of the year here at Traverse City with 3 riders still in the hunt. David Weens, his thoughts are on a top 6 finish, but the summit here in Michigan is just 1,100 feet, and he's struggled at low altitudes all year. Tinker Juarez, consistency has kept him in the hunt, but today that may not be enough. And John Tomac, 3rd in points. He has to go for broke today and hope others stumble. Now here's Johnny T with a preview of the course that will decide the championship.
Basically, the start-finish area is, a grassy, wide-open area. And then you go into the first significant climb of the course, which is one of the bigger climbs, and that's all pretty much a gravel road. And from there, you go into the trees. From that point, you do a little trail section. Then you get towards the back side of the course where you hit a pretty significant area where there's a bunch of pretty good-sized rolling hills. And from that area there, you go into some of the fun single-track stuff, and with more option sections where you can either go over logs or go around the outside of them. And then you got on some real tricky single-track, which climbed a little bit, took you up the last steep climb of the course, and then down the fastest part of the course, which was an open descent with a real sandy turn. It was probably one of the trickiest turns on the course. And then from there, you just came in and out of the trees a couple times and back to the finish.
Thanks, John. We'll be right back with the start of the men's cross country. Hey, it's the finals. Stick around. Peter Graves and Penny Davidson not up in the balloon, but with our feet firmly planted on the ground here at Shush Mountain, waiting the start of the men's cross country race. Now let's go to Penny on the starting line with series point leader David Weens and his thoughts on today's race.
Yeah, I got a good lead in the points, and we just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough race out there. Tomac's home state. He likes this kind of course. It's a good power course for him.
So I'm going to try to win the race and, let whatever else happens happen.
Tinker, any course is good for him.
It's going to be tough. So as the season goes on, it gets a little tougher, mentally, physically.
So I have to finish in the top 5. So I've got my work cut out for me.
Well, we hope to see you smiling out there. You're usually one of the kind of happiest, go-luckiest guys at the start.
Yeah, a little more nervous today.
Yeah, okay. Good luck.
Thanks.
60 starters all feeling the pressure. They'll ride 6 laps. 31.2 miles around this 5.2-mile course, and they're off. The climbing today may be only 500 feet each lap. But the loose sand and mud from yesterday's rain are sure to make those climbs seem twice as long. Into the rollers, and there's no rest as Steve Tilford pops into the lead, chased by John Tomac, David Weens, Tinker Juarez, Ned Over, and all in a tight group. Riding the roller coaster and into the woods, where the riders will face something new today, Penny.
The Michigan course is unique. It offers options for the racers. There's usually 2 options. One is a little more technical and direct. The other one is circuitous and simpler to ride. The racers will make a choice when they get here, depending on the circumstances of the race, which one they will take. Dave Weens, John Tomac opting for the cyclocross. Don Myra also, Steve Tilford, Timmy Rutherford. Those are all cyclocross. So who's going to get there first? Is it Weens? Oh, Tomac got in front of Weens right on this option there. Dave Weens led us into this section here. He took the long way around. John Tomac and a train of riders jumped over these logs. It was John Tomac and only him who got ahead of Weens through this option.
But it's now Don Myra in the lead with Tomac in hot pursuit. Johnny T over the jump. And third, David Weens, Steve Tilford, Tinker Juarez, and Mark Gullickson. It is the end of lap 1. It is John Tomac in front, Myra second, and then Weens.
Right on his wheel. Oh, Myra and Tomac really pressed.
Back into the roller coaster, Tomac now setting the pace. Don Myra looks back and sees a pack of 10 riders in this lead group. And now at this moment, Michigan native John Tomac has broken away and really putting the hammer down. Getting some air up over the jump and into the descent. Let's go to Penny.
John Tomac has put some time on the rest of the group. He has nothing to lose today. He's sitting in 3rd position, and And he's within striking distance of the national championship title if Dave Weens, who's coming in second here, falters. Dave needs to ride a very smart race and stay within the top 5 to keep his national title alive. Don Myra, Ned Overend, and Tinker Ruiz. It looks like all the major players are right up in front, and Ned Overend's got to be happy to be one of those guys. Hopefully, he won't fade like he did in Mammoth. He wants to make it on the U.S. national team as a senior.
Just need to get on that team. It's important to get on that team so you don't have to do the qualifying race at Worlds.
Ned Overend chasing John Tomac as he heads for the hairiest section of the course.
What I would expect to see from John Tomac is a lot of speed. He's going to be hammering right through this sandy section. It's dried up a little bit, it's a little softer. Then he's going to throw the brakes on, throw it sideways. Just around the apex of that turn, you'll see him pedaling out of that turn to gain back up to speed. John Tomac, listening to the cheers of the crowd. He loves to be in front. You'll see how he takes this turn. Oh, a lot of speed, more than I thought, throwing his foot down. Whoa, that was sweet. Look at this train of riders after John Tomac. Weens, Don Myra, Jimmy Killen, Tinker Ruiz, Ned Overend.
The power pack, all in pursuit of John Tomac, out in front, all by himself now. He's doing his part, but his fate lies with the chase pack. And here they come, nearly a minute behind. Tomac pouring it on as the other riders begin to struggle.
All right, guys, here to go, man. Get it up.
And here comes Tomac, letting it all hang out. And he really wants this win. Let's go to Penny for an update.
John Tomac is changing the standings here today. He's mixing up those points. He wins today. He could take the lead and become national champion if Dave Weens places less than 6th place or Tinker places less than 5th. The point spread is this. Tomac wins. Dave Weens can't lose at least 21 points. That's about 5 or 6 places. Dave better be doing his arithmetic out there and moving up.
Now, Penny, you're a former CPA, so put your calculator back to work because Tinker Ruiz has just moved into 3rd. What does that do to the points?
Tinker keeps that position, and Dave Weens falters. Tinker could be national champion. Yeah.
Penny Davidson's math secrets, folks.
This is 4th and 5th position right now. Dave knows what he has to do. He's going to stick right with Ned there and not let anybody pass him.
But Weens can't afford to drop back much further. And here comes Steve Tilford and Jan Wijak in hot pursuit. And now there's even more pressure on David Weens. Back in front, John Tomac's race is going exactly according to plan.
I'll just ride the best I can and, really concentrate on Tinker and Dave and, try to get the championship.
Second place, Don Myra, chased by Tinker Ruiz, sticking to his original strategy.
Same strategy. Just hang out and just finish with a good result.
David Weens on the bubble now and also staying with his game plan.
I'll just feel it out. Sometimes if you try to change stuff and ride too conservatively, it just doesn't work out. So I'm not going to try to change much, just go out and race.
This man came to race. John Tomac, now with nearly a 2-minute lead over Don Myra and Tinker Ruiz. Ned Overend in 4th, Jan Wijak 5th, but he's not running for points. Steve Tilford 6th, and David Weens now 7th. If he loses one more position, the championship goes to Tomac. David Weens through the forest. He looks back, and Mark Gullickson is just behind. It's pressure cooker time now as Gullickson begins to close. And here comes John Tomac, headed for the finish and the win. Now he's done his part.
Well, it looks like every other series that's going on, you're right up in the front and you could take the lead in any one of them.
Yeah, I got a good chance.
Do you know who's coming in now?
Sounds like Tinker and somebody.
Yeah, Tinker and Myra have been battling for second and third, and then there's a group, Weensy was hanging on to his 5th spot. He had to finish 6th or better to not allow you to be the national champion.
Net over and 4th.
Did Weens try to answer you when you passed him?
Not so much. I think he was just trying to be consistent, you know, to maintain the national championship points lead, and I'm not sure if he did or not.
And now the wait begins. Jan Wijak 5th, but remember he's a European, not going for points. To hold on to the championship, David Weens must finish at least 7th. 6th place, Steve Kilford. And the wait continues. The longest minutes of sport. Can David Weens hold on? And the crowd waits. And there is a rider coming. Will it be David Weens? And the crowd has their answer. It is David Weens from Gunnison, Colorado, who crosses the finish line. An exhausted David Weens at his first national Jeep championship.
And I blew it completely. Ned was going slow with me for a while, trying to bring me around. 5th lap, half of the 4th lap, I'm not sure. And then he goes, "You can't ride that slow, I gotta go, see ya." And then I was on my own, but somehow I hang in there.
David Weens, the 28-year-old rider from Gunnison, Colorado, the 1993 Jeep National Champion. John Tomac, runner-up. Tinker Juarez, 3rd, and Ned Overett makes the U.S. national team. Now, catch your breath. We'll be right back with the Women's Championship straight ahead. Peter Graves and Penny Davidson back with you as we get set for the women's cross country. Let's rewind the tape and look at the 1993 Jeep National Championship Series season. And it has been the story of total dominance by one rider, Julie Furtado. Julie began her steamroller season at Big Bear Lake, California, taking the lead from Ruthie Mathis at the start and never looking back.
I hit the descents really, really well. Really fast, really smooth. I knew I had a big lead. But I didn't slow down. I can't.
Julie first. 7 minutes back, Ruthie Mathis.
I felt a little disappointed because she was so far away. When you lose sight of a rider, it's kind of like they're gone, and then you just settle into a pace.
Third, road racer Inga Thompson. Her best finish yet.
At first, I had no idea where I was. Just kind of having fun and working into it. And someone said I was third. I'm like, oh, geez, I better get my act together here and get going.
The final results, Julie Furtado, Ruthie Mathis, Inga Thompson, and Sarah Valentine. Next, it was the mud at Bloomington, Indiana.
Take me back to sunny California.
But it was no day at the beach at Bloomington as the riders struggled through the mud and the slime.
And it just became a race against myself to try and stay upright, not hit my elbows too many times, and really just trying to see if I couldn't finish this darn thing.
Julie Furtado had no trouble finishing, however.
I honestly didn't think I could do 5 laps. I didn't think my bike would make 5 laps. And then I tried to stay out of the weeds and more mud, and it was tough.
You know, it was a good test in mental endurance and physical too.
The results, Julie Furtado first, followed by Ruthie Mathis, Lisa Buick, and Susan DiMattei. Once again, time to travel. 2 weeks later, the rains returned at Mount Snow, Vermont, and once again, Julie Furtado took charge right from the start.
I knew I had to be smart this race, and they died. Allison and Carolyn were really strong on the first climb, and I nailed the descents pretty well, so I figured, okay, if I'm going to crash, I might as well go fast. So I went really fast, and I didn't have too many problems. Well, first lap I had a lot of problems, but I'm sure everyone did, and I corrected them and just kept going fast.
And Julie kept her remarkable streak alive.
Every time we ask you, Julie, how many in a row have you won, you act like, oh, I don't know, but I know you've got little notches in your bedpost. What do you think?
I think 13. I'm pretty sure.
Halfway through the season, and the points showed Julie in first. And by now, the big question was, can the Furtado freight train be derailed? If there was a course that could do it, it would be in Vail, Colorado, with its high altitude and long climbs. But the 26-year-old rider from Durango, Colorado, just kept going. And going. and going. And once again, it's Ruthie Mathis, the runner-up.
Hey, what was the worst part of this course for you today?
The whole thing.
Susan DiMattei, Tammy Jacques, and Sarah Ballantyne had a great battle for third, with Susan prevailing.
Tammy, I'm coming. And I went down and me passed her at Bailey's bailout just over the rock. And in the crowd, you know, I felt like I was Tomac or something. I know what he feels like. So it's good.
By now, Julie Furtado had built up enough of a lead. She could have skipped the next race at Mammoth Lakes, California.
For today only. You could drop this race.
I could. I could go get coffee right now. I could watch. I could spectate with you. Maybe I will.
Why
I'll
don't
see
you?
Oh yeah, but Julie didn't go for coffee or spectate. She went right for the lead in typical fashion.
There's no pressure on me, which is great. I can just ride my own race, no pressure, have fun out there.
The race turned out to be closer than expected, with Susan DiMattei giving a noble chase.
Julie didn't seem like she was going that fast to me. I think she was just cheering me on and giving me a break, and she was just playing with us.
While Julie and Susan played, Ruthie Mathis saw her Slim Championship hopes fade with a flat tire on lap 1. So going into this final race of the season, Julie Furtado, they have a virtual lock in the title. But the battle for 2nd through 6th and the position on the U.S. World Championship team is still wide open, with 10 riders still in contention for just 5 seats. We'll be right back with the start of the race, the finals from Traverse City. Stick around. Peter Graves, along with Penny Davidson, back at Shush Mountain, Michigan for the final round of the women's cross country. And the standings look like this. Julie Furtado on top, as she has been all season long, 16 straight wins. Here's Penny at the starting line with Julie Furtado.
You're coming into this with really good points. You're leading the series. Anything on your mind today, or any certain strategy to stay where you're at?
Finish the race and win the overall series.
Julie knows exactly what she has to do today. The women go 5 laps, a total of 26 miles, around this rolling circuit. And here they come. The riders looking at 500 feet of vertical climbing each lap. Jumping into the lead, well, it's no surprise, Julie Furtado, with Susan DiMattei and Ruthie Mathis just behind. Here's Penny at the first option on the course.
Julie Furtado has opted for the little longer option. She's going to stay on her bike and ride right around through. Here we have another rider, Susan DiMattei, who's come just right behind her. She's going to run. Let's see if she picks up any time on her. Ruthie Mathis, who's second in the points, takes the longer option. She wants to stay on her bike and keep rolling. She must feel like she's going to be faster if she stays on. Sarah Ballantyne showing a cyclocross dismount, running right across the block really smoothly, getting back on her bike very quickly. Tammy Jacques, not quite a technical rider. Sarah Ellis on her wheels, and here's Lisa Muick, the cyclocross racer, running across, jumping on her bike. Let's see if she gets ahead of Tammy there. Oh, it's very close. Tammy Jacques and Lisa Muick are battling for that 5th spot on the U.S. national team. They're going into this tied, and they want to beat each other today. They're riding 5th and 6th, about a minute off of Julie Furtado's pace.
And here comes Julie Furtado, completing lap 1.
Julie Furtado just turned a 27-minute lap in 6.1 miles. No one's surprised that she's in the lead, but really close are Susan DiMattei and Ruthie Mathis putting the chase down.
As always, the 2 gals to beat, Julie and Ruthie, are going to be tough to beat, but I want to try to stay with Ruthie, and I raced with her last weekend and I think was climbing just as well as her. Unfortunately, this course, as a good one as it is very rolly. It doesn't have any extended climbs, which I kind of like, so we'll see. It'll be hard for me, but the sun is out, it got nice, and it's the last race of the National Series, so how can you not be excited?
And perhaps on this day, Julie Furtado enjoys a little extra edge.
Kenan Laramie, a UCI official. It looks like Furtado's got her name all over this course. Furtado Road, that looks a little bit biased. Did you have anything to do with that, or are you going to do anything about it?
We didn't have anything to do with it, and we won't do anything about it.
Very succinct and concise. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And here's Julie completing lap 2, motoring down Furtado Road. Once again, let's go to Penny.
Julie Furtado just came through. We got Susan DiMattei about 30 seconds back. Susan is in the chase. Ruthie Mathis is going to try to bridge up to Susan, and together they can push each other a little bit harder to try to catch Julie.
But no one is catching Julie today, stretching her lead, showing her powerful riding style and grace.
Every riding style is different. I still, change mine a little bit every day. I don't know exactly what I'm doing on the bike, but the more efficient you can be on the bike, that's definitely to your advantage, and the smoother on the descents.
Throwing the bike a little sideways with her brakes, taking this berm. There she goes. Total focus.
Second place, Susan DiMattei.
Oh, look at that back tire skidding around. Susan looking really good. Ruthie right here on her wheel. Ruthie, looking a little stiffer than Susan was. Sarah Ellis riding for Klein. Now she's riding in 5th place. She's passed Tammy and Lisa. She's really going to mess up some of the points for these other riders, and she's going to give her something really good to think about this winter while she's training for next year.
But this year, the battle's for 2nd place. Susan DiMattei just ahead of Ruthie Mathis and still chasing the leader, Julie Furtado. Now Ruthie makes her move by Susan and into 2nd, an explosive statement. Out of the roller coaster and into the descent. And Ruthie Mathis, who is so strong, begins to open it up. And Penny, this battle could go right down to the finish. It seems that neither one of these riders seems able to get much of an advantage over one another.
Ruthie Mathis and Susan DiMattei, this is the race for 2nd place. Both of them opted for that outside line. Ruthie looking back at Susan, seeing if she's right here. Look at these ladies, they are really racing. Sarah Ballantyne just entered the single track. She's racing for 4th place right now, looking really good. Lisa Muick has passed Sarah Ellis to move into 5th place. Lisa is wanting some points, wanting to put some points in between her and those other racers who are tied for 5th place.
And the race for 2nd place continues. Susan DiMattei back in front of Ruthie Mathis. These two have battled all year long. And their battle would have been for 1st if it weren't for this rider, Julie Furtado, showing her bike handling skills on the descent. Back to the race for 2nd. Now it's Ruthie leading Susan as we head for the finish. And here comes Julie Furtado, her 17th straight win and the 1993 Jeep Women's Cross Country National Championship. And now the question, who will finish 2nd? Here they come. And Ruthie Mathis is going to take it in a dramatic finish. Let's go to Penny with a champion.
3-time national champion, Julie. It hasn't eluded you like the World Cup, but how does it feel?
I'm exhausted right now. It's a hard race for me, and it feels great. I wanted the title, and to win the last race is always nice, but I was going for the title.
Julie Furtado, the 1993 Jeep National Champion. Ruthie Mathis 2nd, Susan DiMattei 3rd, Sarah Ballantyne 4th in the overall standings. And watch out for these great women at the World Championships coming up later this month in France.
Well, understandably, everybody's been talking about Julie Furtado. It has been a great season, but there are 2 other names worthy of mention as well. They are the legends on the men's side of things, John Tomac and Ned Overend. Penny?
Yeah, Ned Overend after Mammoth was whispering a little bit like maybe things weren't going to go his way and he was faltering. But he came back with a great race this weekend. He's made the U.S. national team, and look for him at the Worlds representing the U.S.
How about Johnny T?
Oh, John Tomac is incredible. If there were a title for overall mountain bike racer, it would be Johnny T. He was poised to take the national championship today. He was within 2 points of doing that, and now it looks like he could take the national championship downhill title.
A downhill that we'll be looking at coming up in just a few moments. Peter Graves back at the Jeep National Championship Series Finals. You know, mountain bikes have come a long way from those old balloon-tired Schwinn's they used to race. Now let's take a look at some of the technology that has revolutionized the sport.
The sport really came into its own in the mid-'80s, and now we're into the early 90s, and the advancement in the machines has been really unbelievable. from the start.
The original drawing was on his garage wall, is where this came from. But basically this design has been turned front to back, which is already an existing left to right design in Formula One cars, almost identical.
There's a lot of people doing that. I think that's sort of the real fun of it right now. The sport is there's so much technical changes happening.
The midsole here has a nylon and a glass fiber contact. So we can change the stiffness of the sole by using different fibers and materials.
This jam nut right here can be released. You can spin the rod end out, which will bring the rocker closer to the bottom bracket. And as it does that, the seat height will raise slightly, bringing in the fork angle so you can speed up or slow down the steering of the RTS-1.
This frame, for instance, is called M2, stands for metal matrix, and it's aluminum frame that is alloyed with aluminum oxide particles.
It makes a big difference, you know. I mean, the lighter the bike, basically, the faster it can go, you know, the more responsive it is.
Now our bikes, you know, we have all kinds of titanium stuff. The whole thing's titanium, so it's pretty funny from years ago when I first started, when we had just a basic steel bike.
Okay, now we'll get a chance to see some of that technology in action as we review the 1993 downhill season. The downhill, well, the idea is simple. You start at the top of the mountain and ride as fast as you can till you reach the bottom. Yet the chase for the 1993 Men's Championship turned out to be a year-long roller coaster ride for the competitors, with no one rider able to dominate. It all began at Big Bear Lake, California, with John Tomac looking for a technological advantage, displaying a new speed suit. But it was defending champion Dave Cullinan that showed the form that made him last year's world champion and wearer of the rainbow jersey. Cullinan took first place. Greg Herbold was second, Jimmy Kight third, and Myles Rockwell fourth. Next, Bloomington, Indiana, and when Dean Crandall says go, you're out of there. Brian Lopes, a newcomer to this circuit and a BMX champion out of Mission Viejo, California, set the pace as other riders struggled on the short but diabolically difficult circuit. Lopes the winner, Kight second, and Cullinan third. Then it was the fog and rain at Mount Snow, Vermont. The riders went with studded tires, looking for more traction on the slippery terrain. But for Brian Lopes and Dave Cullinan, the pursuit of that led to flat tires that knocked them out of contention. Meanwhile, on his first run, Myles Rockwell set the fastest time through the mud. But on his second run, he too flatted out, and veteran Greg Herbold used his experience to come home first. But it wasn't easy, because he too suffered a flat tire. So Greg Herbold comes up with a victory. Behind him, Earthquake Jake Watson. Paul Thomasberg in third and Jed Fox in fourth. So what's the secret to H-Ball's great performance?
Don't use your brakes, close your eyes, pedal like mad.
Next to the high mountains of Mammoth Lakes, California, still with the snow of winter, the famed Kamikaze downhill. And it was jammin' Jimmy Deaton, hitting 59 miles per hour, letting it all hang out, setting a new course record in the process. At Mammoth, Myles Rockwell of Fairfax, California was second, and Dave Cullinan was third. We'll be right back with a recap of the women's season and the results of the final rounds here in Michigan. Stay tuned. Peter Graves back with you for the finals of the Jeep National Championship Series. Now let's go back and take a look at the women's downhill season. In the opening race at Big Bear Lake, California, Penny Davidson put on her game face and showed why she's our expert analyst. Charging down the mountain and taking first place, Missy Giovi was second, and Kim Sonier in third.
Penny Davidson, Iron Horse, across the lot.
Penny made it 2 in a row at Bloomington, Indiana, putting the hammer down.
Penny Davidson right
In doing so, she defeated her teammate Leigh Donovan. And the Kahlua rider, Kim Sonier of Flagstaff, Arizona. Now the eyes have it. In the start house, the Kamikaze at Mammoth Lakes, California. The Yeti rider, Missy Giove, showed why she is regarded as the bravest downhiller on the circuit. Really turning it on. Really burning it up.
Faster, faster. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Faster.
Now, what are you thinking about when you're racing and you're going really fast? Are you going like that inside?
I'm going to, hurry up. I'm okay with that. Go, pedal, pedal. Just doing your cool kid.
Missy the Missile sets the fastest time, despite this fall on the final turn. And even with that fall, Missy Giove rises to the occasion and comes to the top of the scoreboard in Mammoth Lakes. Second, Giovanna Bonazzi. Third, Cindy Devine. And fourth, Penny Davidson. So as we head into the final round, Penny Davidson holds first place in the women's standings, while Greg Herbold leads a very close battle among the men. Should be very exciting for the finals. So Penny, give us the inside scoop now. Any predictions for your race today?
Well, I'm not going to make any predictions. I've been leading the series. We'll just see how it goes.
All right, well, good luck to you. We're going to be following our colleague, Penny Davidson. Let's see how she does. And then there's the story of John Davis, a tremendous multi-sport athlete making his downhill run. And the speeds he hits in that racing wheelchair are amazing. This course here at Shush Mountain, while not long, is a very difficult one. Just 1 mile long with a 400-foot vertical drop. And it has taken its toll on riders all day long. Here's Brian Lopes. He was fastest in the first run, really turning it on here in his second run, 1:38.8, and that gives him first place. Jimmy Kight takes second, Dave Cullinan in third, and that gives Greg Herbold the men's national championship title. Final standings for the year, Greg Herbold holds on for the championship, Jake Watson second. Brian Lopes moves up into third, and that great all-around rider, John Tomac, is fourth. So John Tomac is on the podium in both cross-country and downhill. Remarkable. Now the women in their final runs of the season. Missy Giove making a strong effort, but today, not fast enough. Second in the standings, Kim Sonier, hoping to catch Penny Davidson, really putting the hammer down. And Kim Sonier sets the fastest time and puts the pressure on Penny Davidson. Penny D needs a top 10 finish to take the season title. Penny riding smooth, no mistakes. And she's done it. Penny Davidson is our 1993 National Downhill Champion. Good job, partner. Kim Sonier second, Michelle Bednar third, and Missy Giove fourth. Coming up next, the Rock'em Sock'em Dual Slalom. Stay with us. Hi everybody, I'm Peter Graves and welcome back to the Jeep National Championship Mountain Bike Series. One of the exciting new events we've had this year on the circuit is the fast-paced dual slalom. Very exciting, reminds me of ski racing, but this time done on 2 wheels, Penny.
Yes, it's easy to see who's winning, and you can see some great bike handling. It's also brought in a new element, the BMX racers, and they have elevated the style and skill of all the other racers.
All right, let's look back on a great season, the fast-paced dual slalom.
Ready, racers ready.
Race number 1, Big Bear Lake, California. Under the lights, the women's finals. Sue Fish on the left, Leigh Donovan on the right. And here they come out of the start gate. Fish is in the lead, bouncing off the gates. But at the finish line, it's Leigh Donovan by a whisker. Now for the men, Eric Carter on the left, Mike King on the right, side by side. King really jamming those gates. But it is Eric Carter who was on this night to come first to the finish. And then Mike King went on his winning streak.
I got second the first one at Big Bear, and then I won Bloomington, Indiana, Mount Snow, Vermont.
Vail, Colorado. Mike King on the left, Dave Cullinan on the right. Penny, who's your pick?
I'm on Dave. I'm all over Dave.
Dave doing?
Dave's riding really well. He's strong. He's right with Mike right now, but I think he's going to get him on that jump again. Let's look.
But it's Mike King first over the jump and across the finish line for his third straight win. Meanwhile, Penny Davidson was busy scoping out riding tips from Cullinan.
So you starting out in the middle ring?
No, I start out my big ring and keep the chain tight, but if it does fall off, I'm prepared with 3 clicks with my right hand. I can be in my 11, which is a harder gear ratio, you know, so.
I love this job. I get all the inside scoop and my competition doesn't even listen.
Don't be so sure. Penny used those tips to good advantage. She scored a win at Bloomington, but as the season progressed, the race for the championship soon turned into a shootout between Leigh Donovan and Kim Sonier. At Vail, Colorado, it was Kim Sonier on the left, Leigh Donovan on the right, side by side out of the start gate in a classic matchup. But Leigh Donovan first over the jump and first across the finish line. Then, at Mammoth Lakes, California, it was Kim Sonier who captured first place.
Kim's strengths are her tenacity and her desire to win.
So it all came down to this, the final race. And it was Kim Sonier beating Leigh Donovan in the semis for the 1993 Dual Slalom National Championships here at Traverse City, Michigan. And the podium results: first place, Kim Sonier; second to Leigh Donovan; third to our Penny Davidson. Back to the men now in the most exciting race we called of the season at Mammoth Lakes. Brian Lopes on the left, Keome Waller on the right.
Lopes trying to make up that Lopes goes down! Lopes goes down! Keome's
As I went down, I knew I had a 1.5, so I knew there was, a chance. That's why I just got up right away. And never know what's going to happen in racing.
And at the series finals here at Traverse City, Michigan, Mike King clinched the championship with this win over Terry Tennant.
Yeah, I never thought it was going to even last this long. I didn't even know I was going to the second race in Indiana. Everything's been a step process, and I'm just slowly climbing the ladder and having a great time at it.
Final standings: Mike King on top, followed by Dave Cullinan, Eric Carter, and fourth, Myles Rockwell. Kim Sonier and Mike King, the very happy National Dual Slalom champions. We'll be right back with some final thoughts in a moment. A quiet, reflective time. The crowd beginning to part as we get ready to close the book and conclude the 1993 Jeep National Championship Series for mountain biking. It's been a great one. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And for Julie Furtado, the GT rider, well, this year, this gal has rewritten the record books.
Julie has set a new standard in women's racing. She went undefeated this season, and she has her third national championship title.
For the men, some exciting stuff as well.
Well, it looked like Dave Wiens might topple from the leaderboard. John Tomac put in a great ride today and did everything he could to win the national championship title. Dave Wiens hung in there, and he has his first career national championship title.
All right, talk about exciting. This sport is growing like wildfire. Penny, it's got to be the sport of the 90s.
I'd say so. It's exciting. It combines speed and skill. There are races here for the whole family, from kids to older adults. It's active and healthy.
All right, well, we've had a great time. Thanks for joining us on the entire series, everybody. One last time, from Michigan for Penny Davidson, I'm Peter Graves. So long from the Jeep National Championship Series. And one footnote, the riders had their share of miscues this season, but believe me, they weren't the only ones. Well, this is for our outtake reel, right? Yeah. Well, I deserve one.
I am.
Don't my nails look nice? Do I look terribly sweaty? Edit him out of the show. Well, this...
Fire? He's got to get through, okay.
He could be smelling him.
Penny Davidson and I will be... Big smiles. I've had a beer already. We're just kidding. Okay. Edit him out of the show. One last time, for Penny Davidson, I'm Peter Graves. So long from the Jeep National Championship Series.
Yes!
The Jeep National Championship Series has been brought to you by Jeep & Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. And by Contact Day and Night Allergy Sinus, the right medicine at the right time.
Bye.